then maybe he can do some good. I mean, one of the things that even Democrats are saying is that they missed a chance when they were in office to reform government. If you're trying to improve the Medicare, if you're trying to improve the delivery of veteran services, there are government rules and regulations that impinge and block you from actually improving the way government works. And sensible Democrats know that, and they should have done something about it. If Elon Musk, some billionaire, walks in and can reform some of the rules that are impinging the way the government works, all to it. I don't expect that to happen, but what I expect is that Donald Trump has some right instincts about immigration, about reforming government, but he does not know anything about the reality of governance. And so my posture right now is, let's let him try. He's got some instincts that are terrible and some instincts that are not terrible. And let's let him try. But changing government is just phenomenally hard. And you have to really know what you're doing, and neither Donald Trump nor Elon Musk really knows how the game is played.
It's funny to say that it doesn't know how the game is played when David Brooks is talking about sensible Democrats who recognize they missed their chance to reform government, to improve the efficiency of government, as if that's ever been something that was a goal of these new Marxists. Talk about naivete. I assume that's feigned naivete by David Brooks. They don't know how to understand how the game is played. I think they're looking to change the rules of the game, David. 312-642-5600, turnkey.pro, answer line. Joe in Naperville.
Yeah, isn't it funny how the left outrage is here now? But when the billionaire George Soros was getting involved with the liberal DAs, they were dead silent and supportive of him.
Well, again, the hypocrisy is their privilege. They don't scoff at getting the tens of millions of dollars from Reid Hoffman, the LinkedIn founder, who's also a billionaire, and any number of billionaires on the other side, including the Hollywood set and so on and so forth. How about going back to Harvey Weinstein and Jeffrey Epstein and Sam Bankman-Fried? I mean, it goes on and on. But to focus on their hypocrisy is to miss the more important discussion about what they're trying to do and how prepared Team Trump is to address what they're trying to do, to avoid the pitfalls they're trying to lay for the incoming administration. Jerry in Milwaukee.
Yeah, good morning and Merry Christmas to you and Amy. You have the greatest show on the radio right now.
Thank you. Thank you.
In fact, Dan, you should have filled Rush Limbaugh's position. But anyway,
it's never too late, Dan.
Let's not go crazy. But yeah, okay. Thanks, Jerry.
Yeah. Anyway, these Democrat hypocrites just infuriate me. I mean, they have no shame when they say Trump isn't running the government, when who is running their side of the government right now, and who ran it for the last 4 years? We don't even know that. I mean, was it his wife? Was it Obama? Who was it?
It's a team effort. Thanks for the call, Jerry. George in Naperville.
Yes, Dan, I think Trump's and Musk's billionaire bromance will benefit our country. I say bring it on. And I also want to wish you both a Merry Christmas. You have the greatest show on earth.
Thanks for the call, George, since Barnman Bailey. Yeah. There's an important piece, really good piece, by John Samuels over at Tablet. The rapid onset political enlightenment, essentially the rise and fall of Barack Obama's totalitarian permission networks that we'll try to get into later in the show, but I wanted to tag it. Maybe at least we'll get to some excerpts. I wanted to tag it because it's a long read, but it's worth the read to get an understanding of, better understanding of what we're dealing with, even with Trump and Republican control of the executive, the legislative, and the judicial branches effectively. But don't run around thinking that the left has been felled in any permanent fashion. Rich in Indian Head Park.
Morning, Dan. Good morning, Amy.
I wanted to start the week off by wishing you.
This is Darth Vader, Rich. Wow, that's new.
He normally has a high-pitched voice.
That's the Munchkin line, and now it's become the Vader line. All right, go ahead, Dark Sith. Yeah.
I just wanted to wish you and your families a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year, along with everyone at 560 and their families, and all the listeners out there and their families. Have a safe and happy holiday season. And I look forward to listening to you and calling in the upcoming year. And again, have a safe and happy holiday season.
Thanks, Rich. You too. I mean, it was such a nice message, but I'm still very frightened by it.
Oh, my gosh, that's classic. All right, coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer.
At 6:06, a perfect segue, talking about the big guys. Some people raised the specter of the Biden presidency. The most disgraceful politician of 2024. We'll take your votes at 6:06.
But now let's head into the newsroom. Here's Mike Scott.
Holiday travel rush in full swing this morning at O'Hare and Midway. The search is underway for a missing 83-year-old man. The Bears extend their losing skid with a loss to the Lions. A woman is dead. 3 children injured in a West Garfield Park crash. The Bulls get crushed by the Celtics and host the Bucks, while the Blackhawks lose to the Flames. WIND Chicago News Time, 6 o'clock.
Sparing condemned prisoners. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News. This morning, President Biden commuted the sentences of almost everyone on federal death row. 37 of the 40 inmates. They're now in prison for life without parole.
The Biden administration has imposed a moratorium on lethal injections in cases other than terrorism or hate-motivated mass murder. President Biden is not commuting the death sentences for 3 inmates. Robert Bowers, convicted of a mass shooting at a synagogue. Dylan Roof, convicted of a mass shooting at a black church. And Dzhokhar Tsarnaev, convicted for his role in the Boston Marathon bombing. In a statement, the president says he cannot stand back and let a new administration resume executions he has halted.
That's Fox's Jared Halpern. This after President Biden's recent controversial pardons and commutations of about 1,500 other convicts, including his son Hunter. There's a man in custody in New York City in the killing of a woman who was sleeping on a subway train yesterday morning. She was lit on fire. And Fox's Carly Chimkus reports police have video of what happened.
The video shows the suspect sitting on a bench after and watching the unidentified woman burn to death inside the subway car. The suspect was apprehended after 3 high schoolers recognized him from wanted posters, and officers found a lighter in the suspect's pocket when he was arrested.
An NYPD source tells Fox that suspect is in the U.S. illegally. President-elect Trump at a Turning Point USA gathering in Phoenix once again vowed mass deportations of illegal immigrants.
You just have a few days to wait. We're going to be fully operational, I would say, by about 2 o'clock on the 20th.
And this is breaking just now. Fox has learned the House could today release the ethics report for ex-Congressman Matt Gaetz, the first Trump Attorney General nominee who withdrew last month amid sexual misconduct allegations. 2 Japanese automakers may merge into one. Honda and Nissan are in talks to combine. Mitsubishi is joining those discussions. If all together combined, they'd be the 3rd largest automaker in the world. America's listening to Fox News.
6:02 is our time, 34 degrees. Lions bouncing back from a Week 15 loss, and they blast the Bears at Soldier Field, 34-17. Bears interim head coach Thomas Brown says it was early turnovers that killed the team.
Turn the ball over twice early in the game. Don't give yourself much of a shot. I think we had 10 total penalties, so obviously that kind of puts you behind the 8 ball. And I do appreciate the way the guys continue to battle and keep fighting, but it's not good enough. But coach it better, demand a better result.
Bears have lost 9 straight, 4-11 on the year. Seattle is next this week. Crash on West Lake Street in the West Garfield Park neighborhood left a woman dead. 3 children seriously injured Sunday afternoon. The young children injured, 11, 13, and 15. The 30-year-old woman killed is who has an accident being reviewed by the Major Accidents Unit. Mayor Brandon Johnson's interim Chicago Board of Education voted to unanimously fire CPS CEO Pedro Martinez without cause Friday night.
6 ayes, 0 nays. This resolution is adopted by the board.
Martinez called the decision a disappointment, but promised to stay on the job while the board transitions to any new leader. Travelers are flooding O'Hare and Midway this morning as the holiday rush ramps up. TSA anticipates 40 million passengers through January 2nd. And a college football national champion is making the Chicago area proud, spreading joy to local families ahead of the holidays. Tyler Morris won a national title at the University of Michigan. He's a graduate of Plainfield East High School, and he donated a portion of his name, image, and likeness money he received to District 202 families in need this year. Tyler Morris gave $3,000 worth of gift cards to schools in the district to distribute to families, and more than 40 families benefited from Tyler Morris's gift. College football action today. Northern Illinois takes on Fresno State in the Potato Bowl after a home-and-home split with the Celtics. Bulls host the Bucks tonight. Blackhawks got off to a slow start over the weekend in a road loss to Calgary. Connor Bedard and company visit the Wild tonight. Tonight in college basketball, Loyola goes up against the College of Charleston. At 6:04, we'll have a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
On Monday, January 20th, Donald Trump will be sworn in as the 47th President of the United States. AM 560, The Answer, is throwing a party. Join us for our inauguration celebration on January 20th at Saddle Up Q in Aurora. Enjoy a brunch buffet with AM 560 listeners as we watch the inauguration of President Trump. Tickets are on sale now at 560theanswer.com/Trump47. That's 560theanswer.com/Trump47.
As we near the end of the year, many families in Latin America and the Caribbean are struggling just to get by. Inflation, food shortages, and natural disasters have left parents unable to feed their children or access water.
When the kids go to bed and we just stay in the night talking about how it's very hard to see my kids go to bed with hunger and not having something to give to them.
For over 40 years, Food for the Poor has stood alongside families like these. Gifts of $500 from AM 560 listeners have already provided food for 10 children for an entire year. Now we're asking for your help with the next 4. Your one-time gift of $200 provides life-saving food for 4 children for a year and helps the community get water closer to home. Make your best gift today. Click the red Give Life banner at 560theanswer.com or call 844-862-4673. And we thank you in advance for your generosity.
If you're living with dry age-related macular degeneration or dry AMD, you may be at risk for developing geographic atrophy or GA. GA can be unpredictable and progress rapidly, leading to irreversible vision loss. Now there's something you can do to
slow it down and get it going slower.
Izervay is proven to slow GA progression.
Izervay gets GA going slower.
Izervay or avacincaptad pagel is a prescription eye injection used to treat GA. Don't take it if you have an infection or active swelling in or around your eye. Izervay can cause eye infection, retinal detachment, or increased risk of wet AMD. Izervay may temporarily increase eye pressure. Your vision may be impaired after an eye injection or exam. Don't delay. Ask your doctor about Izervay today.
Izervay gets GA going slower.
Visit Izervay.com. That's IZERVAY.com.
Right now, with an important alert, home title fraud is one of the fastest growing white-collar crimes in the country. Criminals can make millions on your house without you even knowing it. Michael, you were one of those criminals?
Yeah, that's right. I was responsible for about $16 million in equity theft and title fraud.
Wow.
And to be honest, it was easy to do. It's just paperwork. So by the time you find out what's happening, the equity in your home is already gone.
So how do you keep your property and equity safe? For more, here's Action News reporter Ron Stevens.
Well, Monica, an in-depth investigation found there's actually just one company that prevents this type of crime from happening: Equity Protect. Equity Protect scans, monitors, alerts, and most importantly, protects you from any attempts to tamper with or steal your home equity and ownership 24 hours a day. Other companies merely monitor. Equity Protect stops the crime from happening. Find out if you're already a victim or take a free risk assessment today at equityprotect.com. That's equityprotect.com.
6:08. Let's get an update on the roads. Team Hochberg Traffic Center time. is a service of Remke's Garage. Take it to the experts. Take it to Remke's Garage. Remke's is your Sprinter, diesel, and Toyo tire headquarters. Visit remkesgarage.com. Schedule your inspection today. Inbound Kennedy all stacked up this morning early between Addison and California with an accident with a left lane block, and there is a stall in the same area being cleaned up as IDOT and other crews are on the scene moving that out of your way. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next. Now your official Chicagoland weather forecast with Steve Williams.
Clouds and a bit of rain this morning, followed by drizzle for the afternoon. Some slick spots this morning, high 38. Cloudy tonight, low 33. And then clouds tomorrow, the high again, 38. Wednesday, clouds, occasional rain, high 39. I'm Steve Williams on AM 560, The Answer.
Weather, a service of our friends at Woodland Windows and Doors. Marvin Replacement Windows and Doors can bring back your backyard right into your living space. Make it seem brighter, more spacious. Visit woodlandwindows.com to book that consultation. Currently, 34 degrees. Your next news update is at 6:30. Chicago's Morning Answer continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
Now, from the Signature Bank Studios, this is Chicago's Morning Answer.
Merry Christmas.
On AM 560.
Ho, ho, ho.
The Answer.
Top of the morning, Dan and Amy. The most disgraceful person in politics in 2024. I have the nominees. We're happy to take write-in votes. The most disgraceful person in politics in the year 2024.
Oh, phone lines are open, 312-642-5600. Or if you want to hide, you can text us at the same phone number. You don't have to type in DA. You can just put in the politician's name.
Well, I had to recalculate the scoring this morning after learning of the big guy's commutations of death row inmates, as you heard Mike Scott report already. Mm-hmm. It was an incredible statement of principle that Joe Biden offered, guided by my conscience and my experience as a public defender, chairman of the Senate Judiciary Committee, vice president, now president. I am more convinced than ever that we must stop the use of the death penalty at the federal level in good conscience. I cannot stand back and let a new administration resume executions that I halted. Now, that's a man who does things based on principle. It's a matter of conscience.
Right.
And, of course, even if you disagree, you have to respect somebody who does things as a matter of conscience. He feels so passionately about this issue, he's going to use the power conferred to the president to put down a marker on it.
Yeah, he took 37 people off of federal death row, except for 3, the Boston bombing brothers, the, Dylan Roof, the white nationalists, who killed 9 people at the Black Church in Charleston, and Robert Bowers, who killed 11 worshipers at Pittsburgh Tree of Life.
The Boston bombing brother, because the other one's dead.
Yeah.
Except for 3.
Mm-hmm. Because, Dan, they were mass shootings and, according to the Biden administration, acts of terrorism.
Except for the 3. Because they were too politically costly to commute. Oh, okay. Okay, so this is just more cynical low-rent politics from the Wilmington hillbilly. Got it. Oh, okay. All right, sorry. I thought for a second that Joe Biden had done something out of principle. And I'm sure those cheering him he did this out of principle. No. Just low-rent, cynical politics from the Wilmington hillbilly. We can't do this one because of the victims and that one because of the victims and the other one because of the nature of the crime. The people whose sentences commuted, they're also mass killers.
Uh-huh.
Many. One guy kidnapped and shot a 12-year-old, cut her throat days after he murdered her mother. Another murdered an Atlanta prison guard with a hammer while serving a life sentence for raping and murdering his wife. Another assaulted and stabbed to death 2 girls who'd been riding their bicycles in the neighborhood of a suburb north of Chicago. 4 years later, he strangled a naval officer inside her barrack in Arlington, Virginia. There's 3.
Oh, that's the Zion.
Another one convicted of murdering 5 Russian and Georgian immigrants after kidnapping them for ransom. There's 5. Another one convicted of committing and ordering the deaths of 12 people, including 4 children, as a Philly drug dealer. I'm sorry, what were the exceptions again? Right. Nothing is done out of principle. And boy, this is nice because this comes right after his exit interview with some podcaster you've never heard from, because they had to find somebody that doesn't have any respect for themselves and would lob up softballs for the big guy to, in such a way that he could actually strike them and come across as still present. Any regrets, big guy?
Any other regrets that you have? Anything you wish you would have done differently?
Well, I guess if I thought a lot about it, it'd be something I would done specifically done, but not generically. I set out to do 2 things: restore America's leadership in the world. I think we've done that. And 2, to generate opportunity for ordinary people to have a shot in the economy. And I think we've done that as well.
No question. 75% to 80% of people don't think so, but don't let that in any way color your understanding of what your policies have wrought. No, of course not.
Since when does he care about life? He's so pro-abortion. Just another politician talking out of both sides of his mouth.
So there's the leader in the clubhouse. Big guy, 2024 Most Disgraceful Person in Politics Award that we like to confer. Can you beat that? 312-642-5600, turnkey.pro answer line. I'll give you some other nominees to contemplate. I mean, it'd be hard not to. You have to include Kamala Harris, his sidekick, right? Don't you? Kamala Harris. I mean, there's, how do you pick a couple of clips to properly represent all that Kamala Harris has said and done just in calendar year 2024? We're limiting it. Otherwise, we'd be here for days and days. We'd be well into the new year if we had to go through all of the things that would build the case of Kamala's disgrace. Well, how about this one? This was an underappreciated one, I think, because by this time people had been inured to Kamala's conduct. This was at that Wisconsin rally where she fired back at 2 UW La Crosse University students for daring to invoke the Lord at her rally.
Oh, that's right. Christ is King. Oh, you're at the wrong rally.
You're in the wrong. Yeah, you're at the wrong rally.
Yeah, that's good stuff. Yeah.
It's true. How about Kamala, the video for the Al Smith dinner with Molly Shannon?
Oh, that was gross.
Your Eminence and distinguished guests, the Al Smith dinner provides a rare opportunity to set aside partisanship.
Oh, sorry.
Hey, what's going on? Who was that?
Oh, sorry, Mary Catherine. Mary Catherine, it's so nice to meet you.
Very nice to meet you, Mary Catherine. Right now I'm trying to record my speech for tonight's dinner.
Oh, yeah, I know. I just want to say that I'm Catholic, and tonight is one of the biggest dinners next to the Last Supper.
It is a very important dinner, and it's an important tradition that I'm so proud to be a part of.
Sometimes when I get nervous, I stick my fingers under my arms and I simmer them like that. But that's gross.
So tell me something. I'm giving a speech. Do you have some thoughts about what I might say tonight?
My feelings about what you should say tonight would be best expressed in a monologue from one of my favorite made-for-TV series.
Okay.
I think you've suffered enough cringe. There's one. Of course, the Bear interview of Kamala might have been her little bighorn, to the extent that it wasn't already over by then. And this question that several commentators asked her, which should be a softball, but she could never seem to make contact.
So, you're not Joe Biden, you're not Donald Trump, but nothing comes to mind that you would do differently?
Let me be very clear. My presidency will not be a continuation of Joe Biden's presidency. And like every new president that comes in to office, I will bring my life experiences, my professional experiences, and fresh and new ideas. I represent a new generation of leadership.
Could never quite tell us how it would be different.
No.
So Kamala, another nominee.
That's a tough one. I mean, if I had to vote, I don't know.
KJP.
Oy vey.
You know, I mean, it's not just like it's sort of the intersection of character and competence here for most disgraceful person in politics. So you've got a couple of competing categories to weight. KJP, you remember when she was excoriating people who thought that the big guy would, speaking of pardons or commutations, would pardon baby boy Hunter.
The president would not pardon or commute the sentence for his son, Hunter. I just want to make sure that that is not going to change over the next 6 months. The president's saying he would not.
It's still a no. It's still a no.
It will always be a no.
It's still a no. It will be a no. It is a no, and I don't have anything else to add. Will he pardon his son? No.
It's unequivocal. And then when he did, she wasn't lying. He wasn't lying. There's no lying.
First of all, one of the things that the president always believes is to be truthful to the American people. That is something that he always truly believes. And if you see the end of his, I assume that you've read his statement, and you look at the end of that statement, and he actually says that in the first line in the last paragraph, and respects the thinking and how the American people will actually see this in his decision making. And I would encourage everyone to read in full the president's statement. I think he lays out his thought process. He lays out how he came to this decision. He came to this decision this weekend. So let's be very clear about that. He says it himself. It's in his voice. He said he came to this decision this weekend. And he said he wrestled with this. And because he believes in the justice system, but he also believes that the war politics infected the process and led to a miscarriage of justice.
Miscarriage of justice, he was correcting. He's still the hero that you have come to know him to be. By the way, the statement is in his voice. Is there someone else's voice that we would expect it to be in? That's always just an odd phrase to me. The statement that we issued, that was issued, is in his voice. Yeah. It's a curious qualification. KJP, it's almost a Lifetime Achievement Award for her service in furtherance of someone like herself who believes in things, but not so much that they actually practice those things. I believe in being honest with the American people, but I'm not an ideologue about it. Not so much that I actually practice it. So, the Biden, Harris, KJP, that whole regime, there's a lot to choose from.
Yeah, I have one, though, that I'd like to put on the list, if I may. Governor Kathy Hochul from New York. On Saturday, Dan, touting how crime is down on the subway, ridership is going up.
I'm on the subway train heading out to Queens Center. I have a lot of, not quite last minute, but I have holiday shopping to do. I've got an adorable 2-year-old granddaughter, so it's a lot more fun to shop. I can take the subway wherever we need to go. And I want all New Yorkers to feel safe, which is why we've added so many more National Guard, over 250 more people that'll make sure that your ride is as safe as it can be.
Yeah, and then a few hours later, a Guatemalan set a woman on fire, allegedly, and watched her burn and then fanned the flames. Before that, a 69-year-old man was killed after being stabbed in the chest. 32-year-old randomly stabbed by a maniac on the train. A 17-year-old girl was knifed in the face near Yankee Stadium subway, and a 72-year-old man was pushed on the subway tracks in a random attack. But nothing to see here, Dan. These are just the lies. Everything's fine. Crime is down. People are safe.
She got a point blanked by a reporter last week about the subways are safer, and she was given chapter and verse on the actual data with respect to crime in the subways, and she had really nothing to say in response. But, I mean, the problem with that is there's so much competition in that category, that aspect of disgracefulness. I mean, of course, we have it here with Jelly Belly and Brandon Johnson. I mean, on one hand, she's doing this propaganda piece riding the subway, much like Tiny Dancer used to do. And on the other hand, we got BLM Brandon Johnson, who explains more than 100 people shot over 4th of July weekend and blames Richard Nixon.
So we cut off the pipeline of boys between the ages of 10 and 19 being either victims or the perpetrators. So, yeah, it is personal. Black death has been unfortunately accepted in this country for a very long time. We had a chance 60 years ago to get at the root causes, and people mocked President Johnson, and we ended up with Richard Nixon. I'm going to work hard every day to transform this city. That's what it takes to build a better, stronger, safer Chicago, and I need everybody to step up.
Nixon's fault. I mean, it's tough to top Nixon's fault. And again, no one is in a position to question BLM Brandon. He makes that clear.
I know folks may have questions about my style, but don't question my leadership.
No,
don't you dare.
Wouldn't cross that Rubicon. No.
He's got a black wife and 3 black kids on the west side that he has to raise and take to soccer.
Understand. A lot on his plate. That's leadership. It's tough. It's tough to choose. I mean,
what about from JB?
Well, I mean, again, JB, fresh off of his record-setting performance as a lockdown governor during COVID. I mean, there's a lot there, and I mean that quite literally. Jelly Belly, for example.
Yeah.
Well, let's see. Well, this is it's a classic. Let's go back, show our breath. This is him talking about migrants back in February of this year, so within the time frame. He had a meeting with BLM Brandon, Tony Preckwinkle.
Good discussion and planning. So we've been doing this, as with our staffs for quite some time now, and then regular intervals of meetings with the principals.
Would you say that everyone got along well?
Oh yeah, we always do.
Exactly. Everyone got along well. That was in February, and then remember how well it went into the summer and the fall with the influx of illegal immigrants into Chicago.
Couldn't get
remember
into
how
our
well
police
that
stations.
went? That was the product of planning by Jelly Belly, BLM Brandon, Tony. They get along well. They're the 3-headed troika that lords over Illinois. And, I mean, flawless execution. Product of planning. See, there's some real competition in this category. John in Crown Point, you're on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Hey, guys, love your show. And, of course, I love Amy more.
Yeah.
Hey, what about Tiffany Henyard?
The mayor of Dalton and Thornton Township supervisor.
Yeah.
Sure.
Who doesn't pay rent? She still owes her landlord $5,000 plus.
She doesn't pay rent. BLM Brandon doesn't pay water bills.
Stacey Davis Gates. She doesn't pay her water bill either.
Yeah, I mean, I just, those are not high crimes and misdemeanors that are worthy of the most disgraceful person in politics award of 2024.
Yeah, but it defines their character or lack thereof.
Well, I know.
I don't even have an unpaid parking ticket, okay?
Everyone nominated is disgraceful.
Right.
But we're looking for the most disgraceful person in politics.
I don't know. What do you think, Dan? 312-642-5600. You can also text us on the very same line. Let me check the text line. Ooh, well, are we forgetting anybody?
Well, I mean,
Nancy Pelosi.
There's many more nominees. I mean, we just don't have the time to go through them all. But you have your Joy Reids, as a good representative of the D.C. press corps. Joy Reid on election night, for example.
It's a pure Project 2025 in miniature in Florida, and that kind of extreme, sort of extremist right-wing fascist type government in Florida, does that make it a more attractive place?
Yes. It does. That's why people are leaving New York and Chicago to come. Fascistic. Right. And that is like tame Joy Reid. She's not even trying there. But just to give you a little flavor in case you're not familiar with the stylings of Joy Reid, I don't know how you couldn't be at this point. Yeah, so it's tough. I got to tell you, though, the most disgraceful person, perhaps after reading this David Samuels piece I mentioned last hour and over at tabletmag.com, how Barack Obama built an omnipotent thought machine and how it was destroyed. Rapid onset political enlightenment is what David Samuels calls it. These permission networks that Axelrod and Team Obama set up to offer the sort of self-reinforcing totalitarian culture that came to dominate America on the cusp of the 2016. I mean, people didn't even appreciate it in 2016. And didn't appreciate how close we were to the precipice until Trump won. Had it not been for Trump in 2016, had it been Hillary and what Obama had constructed, which Samuels goes into some detail on in this piece, it's difficult to predict where we would be in 2024, but it wouldn't be in a good place. If you thought what you saw happen to Trump and during the first term in particular, but even after he was defeated in 2020 and all the lawfare and everything else that was imposed subsequent to that defeat. I mean, think if there wouldn't have been the Trump interregnum in 2016 pushing back. Even though I think Samuel's assessment is, and I think it's accurate, there was not a full appreciation for what he was up against by him or the people around him. Not a full appreciation. It only came when they had to fight to retain what they had built, and this predates Obama, what they had built associated with the new technological environment and the social media culture, the influencer culture, the intersection between the Silicon Valley demigods and the state demigods. Had it not been for that 4-year interregnum, which Trump began to expose, his election, a repudiation of, but a measured repudiation because of not the lack of full appreciation, we would be in such a bad place. I don't know if we'd be on the air, honestly. I don't want to get MSNBC over the top here, but if you read this piece and you start to understand the trajectory and get into the weeds here a little bit on what they were doing and how they were doing it and what the end game was, it is, as Samuels says, totalitarian in nature. And we saw many, many, many illustrations of it. And we saw it visited upon people in ways that they could no longer ignore, that silence was not going to be enough. Silence is violence, and all sorts of other sloganeering, which is essential to this permission network construction. It's really difficult to sort of properly assess how far America would be, how much further America would be from a free society today. I mean, it really is not an overstatement to say, as Samuels does in his piece, that Trump in 2024, that Trump and Musk and Bibi Netanyahu, to some extent, saved America for now in 2024. And so perhaps the most disgraceful person in politics in 2024, the lead up, 2 decades worth of lead up to this year and this election cycle, is our very own Barack Obama, who Samuels' assessment is all that he built now destroyed, now laying in tatters. Yep. And that's a great thing. I mean, how central was Obama to deposing Biden, to elevating Kamala? They painted themselves into a corner. They made the mistake of allowing Twitter to be sold to Elon Musk, and Samuels goes into that quite a bit. Yeah, I think my most disgraceful person of 2024, it would have been Biden on his way out, so that he's remembered as a disgraceful, horrific president, perhaps the worst in history. He's right up there. He's definitely in that conversation. But then you think about the Biden presidency and the Kamala candidacy and all that came to a head in 2024 as essentially the outgrowth of what Obama and Axelrod and that cabal has been doing for the better part of 2 decades. And that's my vote. Barack Obama, 2024 most disgraceful person in politics. Coming up at 6:36, we'll continue this conversation with David Marcus at 6:36.
But now into the newsroom we go. Here's Mike Scott.
6:34. Let's get an update. Starting in Washington, D.C. this morning, where President Biden is commuting the death sentences of 37 people, leaving only 3 federal prisoners on death row in America.
37 of the 40 inmates on federal death row will be spared from lethal injection. President Biden has commuted those death sentences to life without parole. The Biden administration has imposed a moratorium on lethal injections in cases other than terrorism or hate-motivated mass murder. President Biden is not commuting the death sentences for 3 inmates. Robert Bowers, convicted of a mass shooting at a synagogue, Dylan Roof, convicted of a mass shooting at a black church, and Dzhokhar Tsarnaev, convicted for his role in the Boston Marathon bombing. In a statement, the president says he cannot stand back and let a new administration resume executions he has halted. In Washington, Jared Halpern, Fox News.
Nuna Baby Essentials is recalling over 600,000 car seats this morning over a harness issue. The company says the recall affects the Rava, R-A-V-A models made between 2016 and 2023. That famous house in Home Alone has new owners this morning. The 5-bedroom, 6-bathroom house in Winnetka recently sold for $5 million. Lions bounce back from a Week 15 loss, blasting the Bears at Soldier Field 34-17. A crash on West Lake Street in the West Garfield Park neighborhood left a woman dead and 3 children seriously hurt. Those children aged 11, 13, and 15. And last night, the iconic Strats drive-thru served its final hamburger after closing its doors after 38 years.
I've had 50 people comment on the post. They say, I met my now wife. I have children because of that parking lot or the Strats restaurant.
That's the owner, Matza Strat. The owner's announcing they sold the property to a national tire company and plan to relocate south for better weather. The building would be demolished. Massive crowds gathered over the weekend to bid farewell.
I'm going to miss this place so much. Food is good, ambience, everything.
Strat's closure is among several recent notable restaurant and bar shutdowns across the Chicago area due to inhospitable economic conditions in the state. Chicago sports also found college football on your tab today. Northern Illinois takes on Fresno State in the Potato Bowl. Professionally, Bulls and Bucks tonight. Connor Bedard and company visit the Wild this evening. The News is a service of Balance of Nature fruits and veggies in a capsule. Order online at balanceofnature.com. Coupon code Chicago. Save 35%. A check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
Charlie Kirk is saying crazy things across the country.
The head of the ACLU, Anthony Romero, is talking about how they're going to work with
city and local governments to sever their relationships with the federal government. Anthony Romero is talking about widespread secession from the United States.
The Charlie Kirk Show. Afternoons at 1, right before Sebastian Gorka at 3 on AM 560. The Answer.
As we near the end of the year, many families in Latin America and the Caribbean are struggling just to get by. Inflation, food shortages, and natural disasters have left parents unable to feed their children or access water.
When the kids go to bed and we just stay in the night talking about how it's very hard to see my kids go to bed with hunger and not having something to give to them.
For over 40 years, Food for the Poor has stood alongside families like these. Gifts of $500 from AM 560 listeners have already provided food for 10 children for an entire year. Now we're asking for your help with the next 4. Your one-time gift of $200 provides life-saving food for 4 children for a year and helps the community get water closer to home. Make your best gift today. Click the red Give Life banner at 560theanswer.com or call 844-862-4673. And we thank you in advance for your generosity.
My name is Dr. Joe Mealy. I've been a dentist for 56 years, and I'm a certified nutritional consultant. I started taking Balance of Nature 15 years ago. I think most people think when they eat fruits and vegetables, this is their idea of fruits and vegetables. I had an apple today. I had a pear today. I had a banana. That's their fruits and vegetables. They don't understand that each one of those fruits and vegetables has different nutrients than the others. Balance of Nature has made a significant difference in my life, in my wife's life. I feel we're on this earth to help each other. And if other people can benefit from my experience, I think that would be one of the best ways I could justify still being here at 81.
Go to balanceofnature.com and get 35% off your first preferred set with free shipping as a new preferred customer by using discount code CHICAGO.
Wow. Are you buying or are you selling? As this is being written, silver is up more than 50% in just the past 8 months. And gold is the highest it's ever been. Whether you are just getting into the metals, want to roll your IRA into silver or gold, or want to take some profits off the table, Fox Valley Coins is ready, willing, and able to help. Even though Fox Valley Coins is a national dealer, they're family-owned and in your own backyard. Fox Valley Coins in Naperville almost always has the product you want in stock and pretty much always has the best pricing when you buy or sell. Buying or selling is easy. Bring your items in. We'll establish the price and pay you cash or check on the spot. Don't wait until the end of the year to move your assets around. Did you know that Fox Valley Coins has sold over 3,000 1-ounce silver Donald Trump coins? We have several designs, but they're going fast. Fox Valley Coins on Route 59 in Naperville. Family-owned integrity since 1981.
Struggling with high cloud hosting costs and endless management headaches with your Microsoft Azure or AWS environment? Contact AmericanEagle.com for an assessment and see how they can save you time and money.
641 Team Hochberg Traffic Center time in this update of service of work.illinois.gov. Find a really great career at work.illinois.gov. Lions this morning. Harlem Avenue shut down northbound between Ogden and 36th Street, all due to a bad accident there. And nearby in Berwyn, Ogden shut down eastbound between Harlem and Maple. It's all tied into the same accident there where Lyons and Berwyn come together this morning. Stevenson right now inbound, jamming up Ashland into the Ryan, and the Kennedy seeing delays Montrose to Diversey. The outbound side jamming up between Nagel and Harlem. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next. Now, your official Chicagoland weather forecast. Bit of rain or freezing rain. We're seeing that freezing rain to our south right now near Kankakee and over into northwest Indiana near Rensselaer. High 38. Low clouds and 33 overnight. 34 right now. Next news at 7. Chicago's Morning Answer continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
Now, from the Signature Bank Studios. If you're looking for the latest news, insight into what it means, and the sharpest opinion, there's only one station in Chicago where you can turn, and it's this one. We're AM 560, The Answer.
Top of the morning, Dan and Amy. Just following up on the conversation we were just having about the most disgraceful person in politics in 2024 and my awarding that dishonor to Barack Obama, in part because of this distillation of the Obama century to this point for the left by David Samuels in Tablet, the Rapid Onset Political Enlightenment piece. One of those pieces like John Anton's Flight 93, Shelby Steele's Culture of Deference pieces in 2016 that are like the important pieces of the moment in terms of really getting a more global understanding of what you see happening around you. So let me just read one excerpt from Samuels' piece on Obama and these permission structures, the permission structure machine that he and Axelrod built to replace the Democratic Party. It was in its essence neither modern nor conservative. It was totalitarian in its essence, a device for getting people to act against their beliefs by substituting new and better beliefs through the top-down controlled and leveraged application of social pressure, which, among other things, eliminates the position of the spectator. Silence is violence. The integrity of the individual is violated in order to further the superior interests of the superego of humanity, the party, which knows which beliefs are right and which are wrong. The party is the ghost in the machine, which appears to run on automatic pilot, using the human desire for companionship and social connection as fuel for an effort to detach individuals from their own desires and substitute the dictates of the party, which is granted the unlimited right to enforce its superior opinions on all of mankind. You remove people's consciousness from them, and it becomes something that exists outside of you. The repository of it is the party. And the weakness of human beings, or just orientation, it's not necessarily a weakness, I suppose, which is referenced here, the desire for companionship and social connection is fuel for an effort to detach individuals from their own desires and substitute the dictates of the party. Now, sort of how that was done and getting into the details is a longer conversation, but that's certainly, I think, a very succinct description of what you saw happening to people who succumbed to, as Samuels goes through the progression, the selling of go back to the selling of Obamacare, the selling of the Iran nuclear deal, a fast forward to Russiagate, and then COVID.
And they sold us a bunch of lies.
And then, of course, you get into many in the last 6 to 8 months with the replacement of Biden and the installment of Kamala. For more on this and other matters, pleased to be joined, as we always are, by David Marcus, a journalist living in West Virginia and the author of Charade, The COVID Lies That Crushed a Nation. David, thanks for joining us again. Appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks for having me. Merry Christmas.
Same to you. So, that's Samuel's piece about these permission structures. And the good news is, spoiler alert, Musk and Trump, and to some extent Netanyahu, have left those permission structures that Obama and Axelrod et al. Created over the last 2 decades in tatters.
I agree with that, but I think, I like Samuel's piece very much. I do think there's an important caveat, which is that these permission structures controlled the lives of more educated people far less than it did people with no college degree. I spent a lot of this period of time working as a mover, and nobody in that box truck was responding to any of these social pressures, right? And we just saw some of that in this election as these working class voters move towards the Republican Party. So I think that that's important to note. And I think that on some of this stuff, like the trans issue is a great example, where for about 10 or 15 years, most people's attitude was like, listen, it's not a lot of people. What's the difference? Let's just be nice. But it was always on a head-on collision course with public policy in terms of shelters and prisons, sports, all of this stuff. So I think that what's also happening is that some of the ridiculousness that underlies the permission structures are really becoming blatantly obvious to Americans as nonsense.
Well, I think that's a fair caveat and a good point, but then you see the left's reaction even in the face of defeat. Jen Psaki and others, hey, we don't have to move off our position on men playing girls sports, basically, because it's a small percentage of people. Dick Durbin just did the same thing at a hearing with the NCAA head Charlie Baker last week. So we don't have to change our positions. We're not going to change our positions. And it seems to me the calculus with these permission structures is we have enough power to overcome the one-offs who are willing to stand up to us, who are willing to speak out at a school board or say no. Or a coach who says no, men should not play women's sports, or college volleyball players who say no, men should not play college volleyball against us. But we can overcome that. We can steamroll them because for a long time they were steamrolling them.
Yeah, but I think there's two things here that are happening. One is that now some of the calls are coming from inside the building for the Democrats, right? Mm-hmm. Seth Moulton and Fetterman and these guys are like, listen, I mean, Joe Manchin, right? We're not going to win another election if we stick on this stuff. The other thing that I think has happened on some of these issues, whether it's DEI or trans or whatever it is conservatives had been afraid, had wanted to find some accommodation or compromise, right? We can work this out. And I think that's over. Like, as far as the trans issue goes, the conservative position now is it's not real. And we need to teach kids in school that it's not real. That's a very different approach than even 5, 6, 7 years ago. So things are changing, and it's exciting to watch.
Well, that's the permission structures being left in tatters that Samuels describes.
Yep.
Well, we need to start stop talking about pronouns when they're in kindergarten and letting people decide, well, you might be a boy or you might be a girl when they're an actual girl or a boy.
100%, and that's what I mean. It can't be a nuanced conversation anymore. You know, it was a nuanced conversation because everybody does want to be nice, right? And very few people care how adults choose to live their lives and things like that. But what underlies all of this is this question of whether sex is a biological reality or something that we just believe about ourselves. And we have to be vocal and clear that it's biological reality. And you've seen President Trump move in this direction. He's promised executive orders that's going to make it very clear what reality is. And then if there are people who want to live outside of reality, then we can figure out what the accommodation is going to be.
Speaking of people living outside reality, that's a perfect segue to the D.C. press corps. And we got one reaction from a D.C. press corps veteran of CNN and the Washington Post, Chris Klizza, to that Wall Street Journal piece last week where there are 50 some odd, mostly unnamed staffers and people in the Biden administration saying, basically, yeah, he was senile and not mentally competent from day one, which a lot of people observed, but you were told that was an improper observation right up until it wasn't. Chris Klizza on, in retrospect, what he should have done.
As a reporter, I have a confession to make. I should have pushed harder earlier for more information about Joe Biden's mental and physical well-being and any signs of decline. So let me explain.
We don't need the explanation. He said it was just a matter. He wasn't as aggressive as he should have been. And hey, mea culpa.
Listen, I'm going to tell you what the problem with my industry is, and I'm convinced that this really is it. The problem is that nobody gets fired. Clarissa Ward from CNN with the fake "we're releasing" a stream. Nobody got fired. Right? The New York Times last year, right after October 7th, saying, a children's hospital got bombed. There's 500 dead. Really, who's your source? Hamas. Right? Turned out to be complete nonsense. Right. But they just believed the guys who went and committed this massacre that this thing happened. Nobody got fired. Nothing's going to change in my business until that's a professional death sentence. And it really should be. I feel like it used to be. Like in the 90s, when something like that would happen, of course the person would be fired. Now they just run a correction and they say, well, we were leaning in the right direction anyway. We were close. No, the industry is completely broken because there are absolutely no consequences, except CNN and MSNBC losing viewership, which they're losing because nobody trusts them because they lie and they don't fire anybody.
I wanted to get to your take as well, because this was a good one. This sort of was my thinking on it, too. You crystallize it better, of course. Trump and Musk, last week it was Trump's impulsiveness and Musk still wrestling with his newfound influence, and it was the old chaos of the Trump years, and it's back. And this CR business, this near government shutdown, was a good example of the inability to govern and the chaos that will reign during a second Trump term.
Yeah, look, I mean, as I said in my column at Fox over the weekend, this was a masterclass. Trump clearly is much better in 2025, or will be in 2025, at understanding the machinations of D.C. than he was in 2017. He's also not under all of these ridiculous investigations. So he handled that really well. He used Musk and Ramaswamy as spokespeople for him very well. And as to chaos, there's a quick story about Trump that I love. There's a diplomat. I was at the Army War College National Security Seminar, and this diplomat was talking and was asked, does Trump ever tweet something that seems to go against American policy and the phones at the embassy start blowing up? The diplomat laughed and said, yes, that does happen. But then went on to say that diplomacy often gets into a rut where everyone takes the path of least resistance and nothing ever changes. And every once in a while, one of those tweets and one of those flurries of phone calls would actually lead to positive change. So look, he was elected to be a change agent. That's what he's doing.
David Marcus, journalist living in West Virginia, the author of Charade, The COVID Lies That Crushed a Nation. David, thank you as always. Appreciate your time.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you. And he joined us on our turnkey.pro answer line.
This is Chicago's Morning Answer.
Hallelujah! Holy
on AM 560.
Where's the Tylenol?
The Answer.
So right now may be the perfect time for you to rethink how you pay for health care. And here's why. This time of year is decision time for a lot of people, but it's also when you can join MediShare and save even more than usual. For many families, joining MediShare means saving about $500 a month, which is a game changer for a lot of people, obviously. But what's more, MediShare members like it a lot. Their satisfaction rate is 98%. Imagine that. And MediShare is a proven thing, too, for over 30 years. It's a Christian community of hundreds of thousands of people now. And here's the thing. If you join before December 31st and you mention the promo code SHARE, they'll waive your application fee, so you save even more right off the bat. I'll give you the number here in a second, but just call and you'll get a price within 2 minutes. And again, the deadline is December 31st. So call now and you'll save even more. Here's the number. 844-47-BIBLE. That's 844-47-BIBLE. 844-47-BIBLE.
As we near the end of the year, many families in Latin America and the Caribbean are struggling just to get by. Inflation, food shortages, and natural disasters have left parents unable to feed their children or access water.
When the kids go to bed and we just stay in the night talking about how it's very hard to see my kids go to bed with hunger and not having something to give to them.
For over 40 years, Food for the Poor has stood alongside families like these. Gifts of $500 from AM 560 listeners have already provided food for 10 children for an entire year. Now we're asking for your help with the next 4. Your one-time gift of $200 provides life-saving food for 4 children for a year and helps the community get water closer to home. Make your best gift today. Click the red Give Life banner at 560theanswer.com or call 844-862-4673. And we thank you in advance for your generosity.
Ad paid for by Anthem Tax Services. Attention, if you or your business is behind in filing your tax returns, or if you owe over $10,000 in back taxes to the IRS, please listen carefully. The IRS does not joke around and will not stop their collection efforts. If you're tired of the IRS letters, levies, liens, or wage garnishments and would like to get a fresh start, we can help. Due to the financial hardships in the country, the IRS is making it easier than ever to settle tax problems for those who owe more than $10,000. We can help settle your delinquent tax problems, end all collections, and may even reduce your back taxes significantly. Even if you can't afford to pay your back taxes, you can still get the help you need. We've helped thousands of taxpayers just like you, but you must call 800-216-0307 today to stop your tax problem from getting worse. The information is free and the help is real. Call 800-216-0307. That's 800-216-0307. Again, 800-216-0307.
Signature Bank is Chicago's fastest growing independently owned business bank, a bank where relationships still matter. Signature Bank knows your name and your story. I'm Dan Proft, and I know this because Signature Bank is my business bank.
I'm Scott Bartmus, co-founder of ESCO, a security and fire alarm services business, and a customer of Signature Bank. We work hard to give our customers peace of mind, so it's nice to know that while we have our customers' backs, partners like Signature Bank have ours. When COVID hit, there was a lot of uncertainty for many businesses, particularly surrounding the PPP loan program, with parameters and deadlines changing constantly. The executives from Signature Bank worked weekends alongside their staff, filling out and submitting applications to ensure they took care of us. That type of dedication is hard to find, but we found it with Signature Bank.
Signature Bank helps local businesses succeed. Want to learn how Signature Bank can help turn your business vision into reality? Call Signature Bank at 773-467-5600 or visit signaturebank.bank. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
AM 560, The Answer.
All right, coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Hey, good news. We're getting the Panama Canal back. We'll start there with Heritage Foundation, Steve Bucci at 7:07.
Yeah, it's a great stocking stuffer. But now let's head into the newsroom. Mike, thank you for the blueberry cobbler, whatever. What do you call that? It was so good.
French toast.
Oh, blueberry French toast?
There you go.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Did you make it or Melissa?
We combined our efforts, although she did most of the hard work. I made the bread. Police are seeking a suspect in a sexual assault, and the Bears extend their losing streak at 7.
Giving a lifeline to condemned killers. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News. President Biden this morning spared 37 of the 40 prisoners on federal death row, commuting those sentences to life without parole.
President Biden says the clemency is consistent with his administration's moratorium on imposing federal executions in most cases. The president is not commuting death sentences for 3 inmates. Robert Bowers, convicted of a mass shooting at a synagogue. Dylan Roof, convicted of a mass shooting at a black church. And Dzhokhar Tsarnaev, convicted for his role in the Boston Marathon bombing. Guided by conscience, President Biden says he is more convinced than ever that we must stop the use of the death penalty at the federal level.
That's Fox's Jared Halpern. This after the president controversially recently pardoned or reduced sentences for about 1,500 other convicts, including his son Hunter. There's another case of migrant crime in New York City. A man arrested in a subway murder.
High-level NYPD source telling Fox News Digital he entered the U.S. illegally in 2018.
Fox's Todd Pyro.
According to the NYPD, around 7:30 yesterday morning, the suspect approached a sleeping woman on a train and lit her clothing on fire with the lighter. The video shows the suspect then sitting on a bench afterward and watching the unidentified woman burn to death inside that subway car.
President-elect Trump at a Turning Point USA gathering in Phoenix again vowed when he returns to office next month.
Every single foreign gang and illegal alien member, all of this criminal network operating on American soil will be dismantled, deported, and destroyed.
He also again threatened to take control of the Panama Canal, a key shipping lane, saying the U.S. is being ripped off under a decades-old treaty. 2 Japanese automakers may merge into one. Honda and Nissan in talks to combine. Mitsubishi's joining the discussions, too.
As they face competition from China, the potential deal would make them the world's 3rd largest automaker by sales, behind Toyota and Volkswagen.
Fox's Marianne Rafferty. America's listening to Fox News.
7:02. Here are the stories we're following this morning. On AM 560, The Answer. Lions bounce back from a Week 15 loss. They blast the Bears 34-17 at Soldier Field. Caleb Williams passed for 334 yards and 2 scores for the Bears in the loss.
You know, the growth that we've had on offense and being able to fight through all of what's, been going down for us, of coaches being fired in the middle of the season and, different coaches being promoted in different ways. And then, so I think the fight, I think we got to do better with execution. Obviously the penalties are, they're shooting you in the foot.
The Bears have lost 9 straight and face Seattle this week. Crash on West Lake Street in the West Garfield Park neighborhood left a woman dead and 3 children seriously injured Sunday afternoon. Mayor Brandon Johnson's interim Chicago Board of Education voted unanimously to fire Chicago Public Schools CEO Pedro Martinez without cause on Friday night.
6 ayes, 0 nays. This resolution is adopted by the board.
Martinez called the decision a disappointment, but promised to stay on the job while the board transitions.
If there's a silver lining, it is that educators, families, and especially our students will be spared from the disruption of a mid-year change in leadership.
23rd Ward Alderwoman Silvana Tabarez disagreed with the decision, saying Latino voters will remember the board's action.
You're not just firing a CEO. You are intentionally clearing a way to saddle taxpayers with billions in costs and the district and yourselves personally with costly litigation. You are being used.
Attempts to oust Martinez by the mayor and the CTU have been months in the making. Chicago police are searching this morning for James Charles, an 83-year-old man last seen Sunday on foot near the 8,000 block of South St. Lawrence. Authorities say he uses a walker and may appear confused or disoriented. College football, number 5 Notre Dame held off a late comeback to take down Indiana in the inaugural game of the 12-team college football playoff over the weekend. Now the Irish will take on number 2 Georgia on New Year's Day. Blackhawks and Connor Bedard take on the Wild tonight, while the Bulls host the Bucks. College hoops yesterday. It's a good one in St. Louis. Illinois snuck past Mizzou 80-77, while Loyola lost to Oakland 72-71. A check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
Mike Gallagher sees relief coming.
Everything that is good about our country, they despise. They are anti-God. They are anti-patriotism. They are anti-law and order. They're anti-family. And finally, we got some normalcy coming back to the country.
The Mike Gallagher Show, weekdays at 9, right before Dennis Prager at 11 on AM 560. The Answer.
Support our police and hire the police to personally protect you. You've watched the news. Rising crime has been affecting our everyday lives in Illinois more and more these days. Blue Star Security can protect you, your business, or your place of worship. Blue Star Security is the only security company in Chicago with over 900 off-duty police officers, all W-2 employees.
I'm Anthony Varshetto, president of Blue Star Security and a 20-year law enforcement veteran. The Blue Star team is made up of over 900 state-certified active and retired law enforcement professionals. We serve businesses and private organizations with supply chain and special event security, and also protect our loved ones at places of worship and schools all across the Chicagoland area. Blue Star Security's technology allows mobilization of off-duty officers quickly and efficiently. Our primary mission is to provide unparalleled protective services for each assignment with integrity, while maintaining our commitment to community service in the Chicagoland area.
Visit online to schedule a free security consultation at BlueStarSecurityLLC.com. That's BlueStarSecurityLLC.com.
If you're living with dry age-related macular degeneration or dry AMD, you may be at risk for developing geographic atrophy or GA. GA can be unpredictable and progress rapidly, leading to irreversible vision loss. Now there's something you can do to
slow it down and get it going slower.
Izervay is proven to slow GA progression.
Izervay gets GA going slower.
Izervay or avacincaptad pagel is a prescription eye injection used to treat GA. Don't take it if you have an infection or active swelling in or around your eye. Izervay can cause eye infection, retinal detachment, or increased risk of wet AMD. Izervay may temporarily increase eye pressure. Your vision may be impaired after an eye injection or exam. Don't delay. Ask your doctor about Izervay today.
Izervay gets GA going slower.
Visit Izervay.com. That's IZERVAY.com.
Balance of Nature supplements, changing the world, one life at a time.
2 weeks after I had been taken, after I had started taking them, I told the wife, I said, I don't know what it is, but I feel like I'm 20 years old. Ever since, I just stayed on it. And I'm not the most educated guy, but anyhow, I'm not the dumbest guy in the area. And I do know what they got in there, just reading on it and everything. I'm pleased with it. Anybody I speak to, I convince them right away that give it a try.
Merry Christmas! This season, be part of the cheer and save big with our exclusive Christmas deal. Call 1-800-246-8751 or go to balanceofnature.com and sign up as a new preferred customer to get 35% off your first preferred set. Don't miss out. Go to balanceofnature.com or call 1-800-246-8751 and get this exclusive Christmas offer by using discount code Chicago.
7:08 Team Hochberg Traffic Center time is a service of In Grace with Jim Scudder Jr. Now heard Sunday morning at 7:30 on AM 560. The Answer. Marengo this morning. Route 23 has a bad accident near Poplar. It's because of icy conditions that are moving into the area. It's that ice and rain we talked about. West Chicago, same story. Accident Roosevelt Road at Cress. Eisenhower, due to an earlier stall outbound, you're jammed up First Avenue to Manheim. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next. AM 560 Weather Center forecast with Steve Williams.
Cloudy today, some rain this morning, followed by drizzle for the afternoon. Look out for some slippery spots. High today, 38. Cloudy tonight and the low 33. Clouds again tomorrow, the high 38. And then clouds, occasional rain on Christmas Day, the high Wednesday, 39. I'm Steve Williams on AM 560, The Answer.
34 at O'Hare, next news, 7:30. Chicago's Morning Answer continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
Now, from the Signature Bank Studios.
This is Chicago's Morning Answer
Merry Christmas.
on AM 560.
Ho, ho, ho.
The Answer.
Top of the morning, Dan and Amy. Maybe not in our stocking this year, but maybe next year, Amy, the Panama Canal. Trump wants it back. We get the Panama Canal back, or at least he wants the Panamanians to reduce the costs for U.S. Cargo ships, as well as the U.S. Navy to access it. Bad deal, Carter inked, giving the canal back to Panama in the late 70s.
World. And you take a look at the Panama Canal, it was such an incredible engineering marvel. We sold it under Jimmy Carter. We sold it to Panama for $1. The following day, they quadrupled the amount of money that ships had to pay to get across. They didn't lose one ship, and now they've made it much bigger, and now they've widened it. They've doubled it, right? They've more than doubled it. And it's one of the most profitable things. Any time it's just incredible, right? We gave it away for $1. China now controls it. They actually control the Panama Canal. They run it, they control it, and we shouldn't let that happen. And we can't let China be in Cuba, and they'll get out. If I'm president, they'll get out. Because I had a very good relationship with President Xi, but he respected this country, he respected me, and he'll get out. And we can't let them run the Panama Canal. We built the Panama Canal. Should have never been given to Panama. We should have had it. But we gave it for $1. Think of it. They quadrupled. In one day, they lifted the fees, which are, pretty big for these massive ships to go through, right? Rather than going around the Cape and to all the tremendous storms, such beauty, it's beautiful stuff. But you didn't want to get caught in those storms. Those were storms that wiped out the biggest ships. And we go through the Panama Canal. We built it. And we gave it away for $1. Think of that. How stupid are we? We have done the stupidest things in this country.
About 70% of all transits head to or from U.S. ports. 70% of transits through the canal. So there's some leverage there.
Yeah, and you've been there, and I've been there too. I mean, it's an engineering feat. It's to see.
Yeah, I'd like to maybe, if we get it back, if Trump gets it back, maybe put a golf course there in Gamboa, where I stayed. I mean, a golf course that, adjacent to the canal would kind of be nice.
Oh,
It
okay.
could, clear some of that unnecessary tropical rainforest, as I always say. For more on this and other matters, what else can we get back? Maybe we can give Hong Kong back to the Brits while we're at it. Get that out of Chi-Com's hands, too. Stephen Bucci served America for 3 decades as an Army Special Forces officer and top Pentagon official. is a visiting fellow in the Heritage Foundation's Allison Center for Foreign Policy Studies now. Stephen, thanks for joining us.
It is always my pleasure to be on the show. Thank you for having me back.
So, yeah, I mean, that's, either you lower the fees associated with our ships and our Navy traveling through the canal, or we want it back.
It's not one that would have leapt to my mind, but it has some logic to it, and President Trump seems to, the poor Canadians are still up there wringing their hands, going, "How can we stop from becoming a state for the United States?"
Yeah, exactly.
51st state.
I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. I think at least, when he raises issues like that, he at least moves the ball on the field from wherever it may have been to a more advantageous place for the United States. Whether he gets the final, ask that he made is frankly irrelevant if he gets some relative advantage over where it was before.
Well, and also, I mean, isn't this? I mean, this is sort of in a different kind of sort of way. I mean, this is sort of like a corollary to the Monroe Doctrine. This isn't our hemisphere. We sold it for $1. We shouldn't have. We're the majority users of it. I want a better deal.
Yeah, I mean, I hear what he's saying. I hope he doesn't get Putin-like on us and decide to reassemble everything we've ever owned before. But in this case, I think it's less about us owning the Panama Canal again, and more about, hey, we should be getting some sort of bulk price, because we're 70% of what is funding this whole thing, and we gave it to you for $1.
Well, and then sometimes they charge $300 for certain barges to go through the Panama Canal. So I think
$300,000.
$300,000. Yeah. Sorry. But the president of Panama delivered remarks yesterday saying, no, the canal is sovereign and is not negotiable.
Yeah, and Trump's message to the president of Panama is, you're Panama and we're the United States, and we're the dominant player in the Western Hemisphere, and I want you to know that, and I want Xi and the Chinese Communist Party to know that. That seems to me what he's really doing.
Yeah, I think so, too. This is as much a message to Xi as it is to the Panamanians, by a long shot. And again, remember, this is the man, what's the title of his book? The Art of the Deal. He loves to negotiate. It's what he's done his whole career, and he takes that to the table. And because he does it differently than traditional politicians, it catches people by surprise. I don't know why they're surprised. They ought to be used to it by now. But it still causes people to go, oh, wait a minute. And he says, no, let's talk. Things have to change. And that's something that is powerful, and President Trump has used it to our advantage. So I know it makes a lot of politicians and definitely a lot of diplomats uncomfortable, but you know what? He doesn't much care about that.
I also want to get your take on apparently an Islamist-inspired terrorist attack in Manburg, Germany, at the Christmas market there. Nothing changes with the respect to this D.C. press corps, and the great effort by Western media to tamp this down as a Islamo-fascist terrorist attack, where you had a number of people killed and hundreds injured. This guy, drives a BMW through a crowded Christmas market. It was reminiscent of the attack on the Waukesha, Wisconsin Christmas parade a few years back. And the press, a car drives through a group of people, blah, blah, blah. He had rejected Islam, and he was an atheist and so forth, this Saudi national, except that there's video of him being arrested where when police are surrounding him, he shouts Allahu Akbar. So, and I say that in conjunction with a story out of Virginia, and here we go again, college student, as opposed to somebody who was affiliated with terrorist organizations. George Mason University student arrested for plotting a mass casualty attack targeting Jews. Are we seeing, these are one-offs, but are we seeing a heightened concern about Islamo-fascist terrorism again, both abroad and now in the Western world, like we saw post 9/11?
Well, I think we're definitely seeing an uptick in anti-Semitism, and frankly, the majority of anti-Semitism in the world today, despite what the American press corps would like to spin it, does still come from radical Islamists. That's a fact. You can't deny that. Even though we have, other idiots around the world who are anti-Semitic who are not Islamists, the bulk of that feeling in the most people comes from the Islamist, and I'm saying that way specifically, world. So not, every person who believes in Islam isn't out to kill every Jew, but most of the people who are out to kill every Jew are Islamists, the political radical portion of Islam. So to ignore that or to try and conflate it, I've seen several reports say, "Oh, well, the big problem is anti-Semitism and Islamophobia."
Yeah, of course. It's the same thing. It's the same thing the press was doing post 9/11.
Exactly. So, look, we've got to. You can't fight these hate-filled ideologies if you don't identify them for what they are and what they mean. Look, the Saudis wanted to arrest this guy. They asked the Germans to get him back several times, warned the Germans about his proclivities, and the Germans did nothing. So I can't get mad at the Saudis for this. They were trying to get hold of this guy and stop him. The Germans were idiots and did not act.
Well, it's
can't ignore the fact that he's an Islamist.
Well, because the typical multiculturalism that has infected Western Europe and the United States. I mean, this student, George Mason University student. Yeah, well, he was an Egyptian national who is a documented strong supporter of ISIS, praised Al Qaeda and Bin Laden, called Bin Laden his hero, and then he gets on the radar and he gets picked up. But this speaks to this sort of open borders, multicultural, all cultures are equal, all people's philosophies on life are equal kind of silliness that has infected the West. Now, I think that's changing. It's going to change here. We know that. But Western Europe still has a ways to go.
Yeah, it's fortunately that tide is changing. It's not just in the United States. There's country after country that are rejecting the whole progressive woke theories that have been governing definitely Western Europe and here for so long. And now people are saying enough. We don't want to do this anymore. We're not hate-filled people, but we're also not suicidal. So it needs to stop. And I think that tide will continue, but it's going to get a lot of pushback from these burrowed-in practitioners of woke theology, because that's really what it is, who are going to say, "Oh, no, that's hateful. You can't do that. We have to just love everyone and accept everyone. And if they do something bad, well, they do have reasons for it. It's still against the law. Stop trying to paper it over and give people, a pass when they break the law. Enforce the laws we have and fix the broken ones that are there. Protect our borders, protect our citizens and our allies. We need to support the allies who are moving in that same direction. To do otherwise is foolish."
Question for you about the Doge boys, the two Bobs. They're Elon and Vivek and company. There obviously has to be a review of the Pentagon, since it hasn't passed an audit in 8 years and hopes to sometime before the new millennium. You're talking about $900 billion in spend, so it's not inconsequential. If you were an advisor to Doge and talking about sort of cleaning up, tightening up the Pentagon's budget, and trying to achieve some real savings without, of course, compromising our ability to have the sort of military and statecraft that is required to keep America safe. Where would you direct their attention? Is there one or two places you would say you really need to look here, how the Pentagon does this or how the Pentagon does that?
Well, yeah, there's, the first thing, as long as they have a SecDef that's on the same sheet of music, and if Hegseth is confirmed, I think they'll have that. There's a ton of social program stuff that costs a lot of money and wastes a lot of time. You could cut off the top. We tried under Secretary Rumsfeld to get rid of some of the procedures that we had to live under for personnel, where you could not fire people if they weren't doing their job. We tried to do performance ratings that were meaningful and had teeth, and they fixed it. But as soon as Rumsfeld left the building, the unions went to Capitol Hill and they got it all reinstated back just the way it was. So the whole personnel system needs to change. I'm not saying you got to fire everybody in DOD. Most of the people there are actually patriots who want to do the right thing, but there's a ton of dead weight that could be cut personnel-wise. The entire acquisition system needs to be re-wickered because it is so burdened down with regulations and backstops and all these things that don't add anything. It's just as inefficient, but we spend more money getting to the level of inefficiency than we would if we just went straight there. So that needs to be reviewed and fixed as well. Those are all good places to start. And look at the overhead. We cut force structure. We cut the meat, the soldiers and sailors and airmen, and we always have the same number of flag officers, the generals and admirals. In fact, they usually go up. Perhaps we cut some of those senior positions and streamline the command structure and not only save money, but sort of clear out the pipes, if you will.
Stephen Bucci served America for 3 decades as an Army Special Forces officer and top Pentagon official, now a visiting fellow in the Heritage Foundation's Allison Center for Foreign Policy Studies. Stephen Bucci, thank you as always. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas to you guys. Have a great holiday, and we'll talk to you soon.
All right, thank you so much. And he joined us on our turnkey.pro answer line.
This is Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
If you're self-employed and purchase your own health insurance, I have some great news. From now until January 15th, the health insurance exchanges are open again. And even if you've never qualified for a health insurance subsidy before, you most likely will now. The American Rescue Plan expanded subsidy eligibility to millions of Americans who have never qualified before, even to those with high income levels. And this year, you can purchase a PPO policy, which includes access to Northwestern Medical Group. Employers who provide small group coverage also have new options, and so do seniors looking for Medicare supplement coverage. Call me. I can help.
If you're tired of calling a bureaucrat at an 800 number to help you navigate Obamacare, then you need a local expert on your side. C. Stephen Tucker from healthinsurancementors.com is someone I know and trust.
He's a 30-year licensed broker
who's been educating our listeners for more than 10 years. Steve, how can our listeners get in touch with you?
Thanks, Dan. They can visit healthinsurancementors.com or call me directly at 630-674-1551. 630-674-1551.
Wesley is a truck driver.
I drive a truck, and I love what I do.
A truck driver with IRS troubles.
They told me I owed them $43,000.
It got really bad.
Quite a few letters in the mail. They were talking about wage garnishment, coming after my house, my car. Yeah, they don't play around. I seriously thought that I was going to lose everything.
One sleepless night, Wesley finally made a call to Optima Tax Relief at 2 a.m.
Kind of figured I'd get a machine, but I didn't. I actually got to talk to an actual person in the middle of the night.
He found just what he was looking for.
Oh, they were great people. You need a team of people that know what they're doing. Optima Tax, they know what they're doing.
Optima Tax Relief came through with flying colors.
I saved an incredible amount of money. Happy don't even come close. I was absolutely overjoyed.
Take Wesley's advice.
If you're in any kind of trouble with the IRS, call Optima Tax Relief. Don't trust anybody else.
Call Optima for a free consultation. Call 800-965-1433. 800-965-1433. 800 1-800-965-1433.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
Spice up your Christmas with Balance of Nature's Fiber and Spice Supplement. Stir our Fiber and Spice Supplement into a glass of water with a splash of chilled apple juice to craft an amazing cider. Balance of Nature's Fiber and Spice Supplement is made with whole fiber and 12 aromatic spices like cinnamon, cloves, and nutmeg. Whether you're gathered around the Christmas tree, toasting with friends, or enjoying a quiet moment by the fireplace, our Fiber and Spice Supplement welcomes every moment with its comforting embrace. As we approach this special time of year, spice up your Christmas and add the Fiber and Spice Supplement to your Christmas list. Cheers to a season filled with joy and flavorful celebrations. Merry Christmas! This season, be part of the cheer and save big with our exclusive Christmas deal. Go to balanceofnature.com and sign up as a new preferred customer to get 35% off your first preferred set and get this exclusive Christmas offer by using discount code CHICAGO.
As we near the end of the year, many families in Latin America and the Caribbean are struggling just to get by. Inflation, food shortages, and natural disasters have left parents unable to feed their children or access water.
When the kids go to bed and we just stay in the night talking about how it's very hard to see my kids go to bed with hunger and not having something to give to them.
For over 40 years, Food for the Poor has stood alongside families like these. Gifts of $500 from AM 560 listeners have already provided food for 10 children for an entire year. Now we're asking for your help with the next 4. Your one-time gift of $200 provides life-saving food for 4 children for a year and helps the community get water closer to home. Make your best gift today. Click the red Give Life banner at 560theanswer.com or call 844-862-4673. And we thank you in advance for your generosity.
Signature Bank is Chicago's fastest growing independently owned business bank. They're a bank with roots right here in Chicago, and their decisions are made locally too. I'm Dan Proft, and I know this because Signature Bank is my business bank.
Hi, I'm Mick O'Rourke, President and CEO of Signature Bank. We'd like to wish you happy holidays from our Signature Bank family to your family.
Signature Bank helps local businesses succeed. Let Signature Bank turn your business vision into reality this holiday season. Visit signaturebank.bank, member FDIC, equal housing lender. Signature Bank is Chicago's fastest growing independently owned business bank. You have a true partnership with a team that is invested in your success. I'm Dan Proft, and I know this because Signature Bank is my business bank.
I'm Kevin Bastuga, co-founder of Signature Bank. There's no better place to be for the holidays than Chicago. Signature Bank is wishing you a safe, healthy, and happy holiday season.
Signature Bank helps local businesses succeed. Let Signature Bank turn your business vision into reality this holiday season. Visit signaturebank.bank, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
This is Carol Platt-Liebau for townhall.com. A recent article in DC Insider magazine Washingtonian reported that food workers were organizing protests to target members of the new Trump administration. The piece recalled the resistance hijinks in D.C. dining rooms when Trump was last president. Cabinet members and Trump-friendly senators were occasionally driven from restaurants by hostile crowds. Trump's press secretary was denied service by a restaurant owner. Members of Congress like Maxine Waters told supporters to harass Trump officials. But now something's different. The Washingtonian piece featured quotes from a restaurant worker reserving the option to refuse service to the Trump administration. This time, the restaurant's owner not only fired her, but characterized her remarks as inappropriate, hostile, intolerant, and unacceptable. This marks a welcome return to normalcy in American culture. It's about time. I'm Carol Platt-Liebau.
AM 560, The Answer.
I'm still having a hard time grasping that Jorge Torres, who raped and murdered those 2 girls in Zion, Crystal Tobias and Hobbs. Her father was he was in jail for 5 years. That he's got off. That Biden he's not on death row anymore. One of the 37, because he went on to kill others. So
he didn't get off. He's still serving life without parole.
Right, but he's
sent death row, death sentence commuted. Yes.
Yeah. Anybody should be put down. It's him. Anyway, coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer.
7:37, 'tis better to give than receive. Paul Jacobs, Food for the Poor, joins us at 7:37.
Now let's head into the newsroom. Here's Mike Scott.
34 degrees at 7:32. On the business watch this morning, Japanese automakers Nissan, Honda, and Mitsubishi are announcing plans to work toward a merger that would catapult them to a top position in the automotive industry in the midst of tectonic shifts, transitions away from a rush to electric, and a return to the combustion engine for the near future. Palestinian medics say Israeli airstrikes on the Gaza Strip have killed at least 20, according to their reporting. Mourners are laying flowers near the scene of a deadly Christmas market attack as investigators puzzle over the motive of the suspect.
The suspect was identified by German media only as Taleb A, a 50-year-old Saudi Arabian doctor who moved to Germany in 2006. Investigators say his motive remains unclear and they're investigating. But speculation is circling. Reports suggest Saudi Arabian sources repeatedly warned German authorities about the suspect's extremist views. His social media accounts are also full of anti-Islamic sentiment and conspiracy theories. And at yesterday's press conference, police say they had conducted an evaluation as to whether he might be a potential threat. But that discussion was over a year ago.
Authorities have identified the suspect as a Saudi doctor. On Sunday night, police in the port city of Bremerhaven say they detained a man who threatened crimes at a similar Christmas market. As Dan and Amy have been talking about with you this morning, President Biden commuting the death sentences of 37, leaving only 3 federal prisoners on death row in America. Lions bounce back from a Week 15 loss to blast the Bears at Soldier Field 34-17. A crash on West Lake Street in the West Garfield Park neighborhood, leaving a woman dead and 3 children seriously injured on Sunday afternoon. Brandon Johnson's interim Chicago Board of Education voting unanimously to fire Chicago Public Schools CEO Pedro Martinez without cause on Friday night.
If there's a silver lining, it is that educators, families, and especially our students will be spared from the disruption of a mid-year change in leadership.
Martinez calling the decision a disappointment, but promises to stay on the job while the board transitions to a new leader. Travelers are flooding O'Hare and Midway this morning as the holiday rush ramps up, with today's expected to be the busiest day. TSA anticipates screening 40 million passengers through January 2nd nationwide. Chicago sports, a little college football action today. Northern Illinois takes on Fresno State in the Potato Bowl. Professionally, Bulls host the Bucks tonight. Connor Bedard and the Blackhawks visit the Wild, and the White Sox get a boost in the pen, trading for Red Sox reliever Cam Boozer. The news, a service of Balance of Nature, fruits and veggies in a capsule. Save 35% off your first preferred order with promo code Chicago at balanceofnature.com. Hurry, offer ends soon. A check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
On Monday, January 20th, Donald Trump will be sworn in as the 47th President of the United States. AM 560, The Answer, is throwing a party. Join us for our inauguration celebration on January 20th at Saddle Up Q in Aurora. Enjoy a brunch buffet with AM 560 listeners as we watch the inauguration of President Trump. Tickets are on sale now at 560theanswer.com/Trump47. That's 560theanswer.com/Trump47.
I've been playing sports all my life. Little football, basketball, pickleball, cross training, mud events, Spartan races and things like that.
For Dr. Eric Williams, a successful chiropractor, staying active means everything. So when nagging knee pain slowed him down, he didn't want drugs or invasive surgery. He found a natural way to get lasting relief. QC Kinetics Cellular Therapies.
We're using my body's natural abilities to get better. And that's huge. In time, that's going to be the way of the future. Using your own body's ability to heal. Now I can play day to day and not have that severe pain.
Now he's back out there doing what he loves, thanks to QC Kinetics.
Life is good. You're not going to slow me down.
Leave the pain behind and get moving. Book your free consultation today with QC Kinetics.
Call QC Kinetics, 312-809-5955. That's 312-809-5955. 312-809-5955.
Attention, anyone with high blood pressure.
If you want to seriously control your blood pressure and not be a walking time bomb,
Order 120 Life today.
120 Life is an amazing blend of superfruit juices that can actually help lower your blood pressure. It's been endorsed by thousands of health professionals and doesn't have the side effects of medication.
With ingredients that have shown to naturally help control blood pressure, 120 Life could be the natural game changer in your life.
Try it for yourself, risk-free, with a 2-week trial pack.
Go to 120life.com and use coupon code 560 to save 15% and get free shipping.
120 Life is so sure it can noticeably lower your blood pressure in just 2 weeks, they'll give you your money back if you're not satisfied.
Order the 8-ounce drink or powdered mix. From pomegranates to cranberries, it's the delicious way to lower blood pressure.
Go to 120life.com now. Use coupon code 560 to save 15% and get free shipping.
JTV has thousands of jewelry styles and gifts for women and men. Shop on TV or online. Plus, new JTV customers save up to $50 when you shop jtv.com/radio.
34 degrees at 7:38. We are following some breaking business news this morning. If this is one of your favorite stores, listen up. The Container Stores filed bankruptcy this morning. Chapter 11 style. We'll have more developments on that story, along with the Honda merger story coming throughout the morning with Fox Business and here on AM 560. Let's get an update on the roads. Not a lot happening this morning. Kennedy inbound at 25 minutes. O'Hare into the Burns Circle interchange, and you are jammed right now into the O'Hare drop-offs. Accident in Willow Springs and Archer, Bensonville. Accident Route 83 and 3rd Avenue, Marengo. Icy conditions and an accident Route 23 and Poplar. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next. Now your official Chicagoland weather forecast. Bit of rain or freezing rain crossing the area. High 38, low clouds, and 33 overnight. It's 34 right now. Your next news update is at 8. Chicago's Morning Answer continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
Now, from the Signature Bank Studios. Only the biggest stories, only the biggest guests, and only the biggest opinions. This is AM 560, The Answer.
We asked them to stay committed to Haiti. We say in Haiti, the darker it gets, the sooner the light is going to shine. So it is getting darker, so light is not far.
Top of the morning, Dan and Amy. I want to add to that clip you heard of the situation in Haiti by pulling forward this story that we discussed earlier this year. World Focus did the story, and it was about a cookie business in Haiti. That's right. But it's not the kind of cookie business that, well, I mean, it inspires you in one sense, but it's not the kind of cookie business you want to be in. Dirt cookies. Take a listen.
They look a lot like pancakes or cookies. The recipe passed down from generations here in Haiti. Women spend entire days making them. Grandmothers, daughters, and younger girls. Infants are nursed while mothers work the mix. Kids seem to enjoy them, at least when our camera was around. But these patties, known as bonbon terres by the Haitians who eat them, are a grim reminder of just how poor this Caribbean nation is. They aren't sweet, they're hard to swallow, and add almost nothing in terms of nutrition, because the cookies are actually made of dirt.
It fills your stomach. When we haven't eaten anything, this dirt cookie fills your stomach.
Traded, sold, and even hoarded by women here in the poorest section of the poorest country in the Western Hemisphere, Cité Soleil in Port-au-Prince, Haiti. Small amounts of vegetable shortening, salt, and occasionally sugar are mixed in with the dirt and water as well. Made in places like this, an old fort where torture was once common by corrupt dictators here. Fort Dimanche is now a center of commerce built around the dirt cookies, a basketball court, soccer field, and school for hundreds of kids, and home to many. To get to the basketball court, which acts as a preparation area for the dirt cookies, you have to cross this open sewer, which is littered with animal parts and trash and other nasty things, to get to an area where the cookies are laid out to dry out in the sun. You can see that these are still very wet, not quite ready to be served, but this is literally dirt being prepared for humans to eat on top of other dirt and filth.
Pretty depressing stuff, which is why we partner with Food for the Poor, as we have before, and we're doing again this year, to provide life-saving food for people in Latin America, including but not limited to Haiti, and why we appreciate the donor leadership from our business benefactors, as well as all of our individual donors. But some of those business benefactors we'd like to recognize, people that have signed up for that program. We'll give you the details. Brian Willey Construction, Applied Mechanical, Suburban Welding and Steel, Mary Lou Lasky, Quick Delivery Service, DSP Insurance Services, K&S Metals, MS Consulting Services, Gatto Industrial Platers, Chicagoland Midwest Performance Cars, and so many more.
Yes, and to become a business benefactor, what that means is a one-time donation of $2,500 as a way of saying thank you. We give you 40 one-minute commercials that will air right here on AM 560 Monday through Friday. The $2,500, tax deductible. So you'll be helping yourself while you're helping others. In fact, you'll be helping 500 children eat for a year and provide clean water for them. It's the best deal in all of Chicagoland radio to sign up to become a business benefactor, and it will sell out. Call Ann Jeanette, our sales manager, at 847-472-8951. That's 847-472-8951, or go to 560theanswer.com/food for the poor.
For more on how the campaign is going this holiday season, please be joined again by Paul Jacobs, the radio manager and on-air fundraiser for Food for the Poor. Paul, thanks for being with us again. Appreciate it.
Good morning. It's great to be with you. And I just was just taking a moment to be very silent. That song Silent Night is very appropriate for me right now when you just played that clip, because I've been to Cité Soleil and I still smell those smells. I still feel that mud under my feet as I walk from home to home. But one thing I still feel, which is still and probably will never leave me, are those children when they grip your neck in a hug, when you visit them and you see them and you tell them it's going to be okay. We're going to tell your story. We're going to tell your mom's story. We're going to get you food. And I just think that no better time than with literally one day, 15 hours, 14 and a half minutes left before we begin our Christmas day, that we look outwardly to children like these in Haiti, where, as my colleague Ken Michel said, the light is not far away.
Right. And I mean, the thing about this is, too, I mean, as disquieting as the reporting on things like dirt cookies and it's how much of an impact you can make for such a small amount of money. So you can do your philanthropic work locally and in the community in which you live in Chicagoland or anywhere else in America. But, to set aside a few dollars to have such an impact in places like Haiti is, it's why people do charitable giving, is they want maximum impact for what they're able to give, and this provides it.
That's exactly right. And when you talk about maximum impact, you're talking about those business benefactors that you listed off, and several over the weekend came in. Their gift of $2,500 effectively is going to provide 50 children, because of a food match, with life-saving food in countries like Haiti and Honduras and El Salvador and Guatemala. 50 children that tomorrow will know what it means to have a full belly, 2 meals a day, in fact, and have access to water in their community. Oh, I just want to take a moment to say thank you. When you talk about impact, thank you, Cheryl from Palatine, Burton from Chicago, one of our business benefactors, thank you. We had a gift from Robert from Chicago, and I love this. Fed one child with a $50 gift and said, because we should as humans. And I just love the gift. We had an anonymous gift from Evanston. A gift to feed 2 children says, I feel that nobody should go hungry. It is the most essential help that people need that we could ever give. And over the weekend, 54 children were fed through and 560 AM, the Answer family, listeners who said yes to children and families. And really, it would be a miracle to see another 100 children before Christmas Day That's just a day and a few hours to go. If we could get another 100 children fed and meet our goal by Christmas Day.
And sometimes it's nice to make a donation on behalf of your well-fed child or grandchild. And when you call the number 844-862-4673, it takes just minutes, not a long phone call, not a long conversation. Have your credit card ready. Tell them the amount you want to donate, and then you're done. But what you're doing is impacting so many people and helping so many lives.
Or you can make a donation on behalf of your well-fed co-host.
Oh, yeah.
Don't forget about those people who are well-fed. So how is the I mean, people always. So how are we doing? How's the campaign going in Chicago? I know it's national in scope. How's it going this year?
No, it's going excellent. I just have to say that we are miraculously close to getting to our goal. Our goal overall is to make sure that 3,700 children are fed for an entire year. The numbers are still being calculated as we speak this morning, and so we'll have an update when I'm going to be on Sean Thompson's show a little bit later. So I'll probably have some updated numbers, but I just want to tell you that no matter how close we get to our goal of reaching that 3,700th child, please understand there is one more. There are 10 more. There are 50 more in communities that need you right now. So we can never reach a goal, even though we set these goals, but we know that there's a goal that you have. And that is to extend yourself this Christmas season. And please, would you do that right now? Would you make an effort to say whatever God has placed upon your heart? Some have said, I'm going to commit my business to $2,500. That's 50 children. Some have said, I want to provide a $500 gift. That's 10 children with the match before Christmas to say they will eat every single day. Some have even given $100. Whatever your gift is, please make it now, because there are children that are waiting on the other side of your generosity. And before I close, I just wanted to give you one number. I want to give everyone just one number to just envision, with all the turmoil, with all the food insecurity taking place in Haiti alone. One number that really stands out, and that's 95. 95 organizations like schools, health centers, nutritional centers, churches, and communities that need this food, that Food for the Poor is going to be able to dispatch to them at this holiday season with your help.
So, the mechanics of it a little bit, I'm interested how that works. I think people are interested too. Is like, you get a business benefactor who writes a $2,500 check, and then how does that work to go from, sort of central office to food being delivered to some of those children we were talking about?
Dan, that's a great question, and it's not a cookie-cutter solution in our countries. In Haiti, it is a office of 400 people, and Amy, she's been there, she's seen it firsthand, the work that goes on in the canteen and out in the field with our staff. Then there's places like Guatemala where we have trusted ministry partners that they go into communities. So when your gift comes in, we dispatch and do distributions. Sometimes those distributions is in the form of non-perishable food. Sometimes those distributions is in the form of cash. And then what ends up happening is those monies get sent to our ministry partners, get sent to our offices in country, and they propagate the local economy. What is that? Why is that so significant?
Yeah, good.
It's significant because people are going to remain in their communities and thrive because their businesses are thriving because of your gifts and donations through our ministry partners to make sure that their people are eating and getting food and making sure that they stay healthy and remain thriving in their communities.
And will always stick with me too, with those moms and the kids that were waiting in the long lines outside that Haitian Food for the Poor. And doesn't matter the weather, if it's hot or raining or whatever, they're there, and the smiles on their face, so appreciative of everything that you've donated so far. And I just wanted to say that, because it's watching them get that bucket of food, it's like Christmas every day.
No, it is. It truly is, because when you talk about a child that is probably, and this is not hyperbole, a child that has maybe gone 2 days, 3 days without eating properly. When I say eating properly, I mean maybe a little coffee in the morning, possibly a tortilla or some bread, a handful of rice all day, and then they go 2 or 3 days and it's got to last them. Those children suffer, and then they have a full meal before them where it's going to help keep them healthy, and then they can learn and they can grow and be healthy again. Yeah, it's truly Christmas all over again with every meal.
And we hope to eliminate those mud cookies someday. But that's a reality.
Yes.
I mean,
Imagine, just understand why the birth of those mud cookies came about. It came about because there were no resources. What was the most common resource? Dirt. Dirt can be mixed with whatever you have on a shelf, that, a little bit of salt or whatever, and I bake it in the sun on a blue piece of tarp, and I sell it for a nickel or a few pennies. Without food, that becomes a reality. But when there's food, when these families have meals to eat, and they can eat every single day, and moms will never look at those mud cookies. And I've talked to those moms, and they say it's just because we have to. We have no other choice. Well, you and your generosity and your compassion this Christmas season are giving those moms a choice.
To make a gift of any amount, you can call 844-862-4673. Again, that's 844-862-4673, or you can visit our website, 560theanswer.com/food for the poor. And the Business Benefactor Program, Amy?
Well, it's a one-time donation of $2,500. It's the best deal in all of Chicagoland radio because you're helping your business while you're helping those in need. One-time donation, $2,500. Tax deductible. As a way of saying thank you, we'll give you 40 one-minute commercials that will air right here on AM 560. And also, it will provide food for a year for 50 children in Latin America and the Caribbean. And it's really just a win-win situation. And we have a long list of business benefactors. I know you read some of the names, but this will sell out. JohnCastNews.com is on here. Mathnasium, Chicagoland Centers. The list goes on, but it will sell out. So do it today. 'Tis the season for giving, as we always say. The number to call is 847-472-8951. Again, that's 847-472-8951, and ask for Anjanette, or simply go to our website, 560theanswer.com/food for the poor.
Paul Jacobs, radio manager and on-air fundraiser, Food for the Poor. Paul, thank you as always. Appreciate it. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas, and just really a bit of good news. We had 8 children in these last few minutes since we've been talking fed already. Merry Christmas, everyone.
All right, bless your heart. And he joined us on our turnkey.pro answer line.
This is Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
Balance of Nature supplements, changing the world, one life at a time.
A lot of times people don't understand what a supplement is. A supplement is in addition to your regular foods. It's really just an incredible formula, and I've been doing nutrients for 43 years. It has a tremendous effect on how I feel, my well-being. I love the way it gives me all my supplements for fruits and vegetables, which I take a lot of anyway. But I find that this gives me that supplement that I was missing before.
Merry Christmas! This season, be part of the cheer and save big with our exclusive Christmas deal. Call 1-800-246-8751 or go to balanceofnature.com and sign up as a new preferred customer to get 35% off your first preferred set with free shipping and our money-back guarantee. That's 1-800-246-8751. Don't miss out. Go to balanceofnature.com or call 1-800-246-8751 and get this exclusive Christmas offer by using discount code CHICAGO.
If you have unfiled taxes or are in debt to the IRS, this is important news. Did you know the IRS has programs specifically designed to help people struggling with tax debt? Powerful tax assistance programs that can save you thousands if you qualify. No one knows these programs better than the experts at Optima Tax Relief, America's most trusted tax resolution firm, A-rated by the Better Business Bureau. Their award-winning team of tax attorneys and licensed professionals have resolved over $1 billion of tax debt for their clients. One call to Optima can start the process, helping to end your worries about wage garnishment, asset seizure, and other IRS actions. Make sure you're getting the best options to solve your tax problems. Call the experts at Optima today for a free confidential consultation.
Call 800-965-1433. 800-965-1433. 800-965-1433.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
If you're self-employed and purchase your own health insurance, I have some great news. From now until January 15th, the health insurance exchanges are open again. And even if you've never qualified for a health insurance subsidy before, you most likely will now. The American Rescue Plan expanded subsidy eligibility to millions of Americans who have never qualified before, even to those with high income levels. And this year, you can purchase a PPO policy, which includes access to Northwestern Medical Group. Employers who provide small group coverage also have new options, and so do seniors looking for Medicare supplement coverage. Call me. I can help.
If you're tired of calling a bureaucrat at an 800 number to help you navigate Obamacare, then you need a local expert on your side. C. Stephen Tucker from healthinsurancementors.com is someone I know and trust. He's a 30-year licensed broker who's been educating our listeners for more than 10 years. Steve, how can our listeners get in touch with you?
Thanks, Dan. They can visit healthinsurancementors.com or call me directly at 630-674-1551. 630-674-1551.
If you're living with dry age-related macular degeneration or dry AMD, you may be at risk for developing geographic atrophy or GA. GA can be unpredictable and progress rapidly, leading to irreversible vision loss. Now there's something you can do to
slow it down and get it going slower.
Izervay is proven to slow GA progression.
Izervay gets GA going slower.
Izervay or avacincaptad pagel is a prescription eye injection used to treat GA. Don't take it if you have an infection or active swelling in or around your eye. Izervay can cause eye infection, retinal detachment, or increased risk of wet AMD. Izervay may temporarily increase eye pressure. Your vision may be impaired after an eye injection or exam. Don't delay. Ask your doctor about Izervay today.
Izervay gets GA going slower.
Visit Izervay.com. That's IZERVAY.com.
AM 560, The Answer.
We'd be remiss if we didn't remark upon the untimely passing of Ricky Henderson. Only 65 years old. He died over the weekend, apparently from complications from pneumonia. And, he was a joy to watch as a kid. He was one of the most complete baseball players who ever lived. So rest in peace, Ricky Henderson.
All right, coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer.
At 8:38, we're going to have you vote on the best political song of the year. But at 8:08, we've got Christmas carols from Rob Pastorian family.
Yes, here on the eve of Christmas Eve. But
please, Amy promises not to sing along, so you can stay tuned in.
I'm sick as a dog. I finally got invited to parties, and I couldn't go to one of them over the weekend, but that's all right. Quinn made me come into work today.
Have a little hot toddy.
I know I should, but hot bath and a hot toddy. All right, today the weather is going to be a bit of rain and in the morning, but then it'll be slippery spots in the afternoon. High of 38 degrees. It is now 8 a.m. WIND Chicago.
She was burned alive. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News. And a New York City police source tells Fox the man suspected of lighting a woman on fire on a New York City subway train yesterday morning was in the U.S. illegally.
With the help of an MTA employee and a fire extinguisher, the flames were put out. Unfortunately, it was too late, and the victim was pronounced on the scene.
NYPD Commissioner Jessica Tisch calls it one of the most depraved crimes anyone could commit.
The suspect was apprehended after 3 high schoolers recognized him from images released by the NYPD. Officers finding a lighter in the suspect's pocket when he was arrested.
Fox's Todd Pyro says that suspect came to the U.S. illegally from Guatemala in 2018. President-elect Trump at a Turning Point USA event in Phoenix again promised the day he returns to office next month.
We will begin the largest deportation operation in American history.
Now to an even higher profile New York City murder case. It's back to court in the next hour or two.
Charges filed by Manhattan District Attorney Alvin Bragg's office against Luigi Mangione include first-degree murder in furtherance of terrorism in the death of United Healthcare CEO Brian Thompson.
That's Fox's Tanya J. Powers. Mangione is currently in federal custody after also facing a federal murder charge. Speaking of federal murder charges, President Biden this morning spared 37 of the 40 condemned prisoners on federal death row, giving them life without parole instead.
President Biden is not commuting the death sentences for 3 inmates. Robert Bowers, convicted of a mass shooting at a synagogue. Dylan Roof, convicted of a mass shooting at a black church. And Dzhokhar Tsarnaev, convicted for his role in the Boston Marathon bombing.
Fox's Jared Halpern. Fox News has learned the House could make public today the Matt Gaetz ethics report in the investigation into the now ex-congressman and allegations of sexual misconduct and drug abuse. And this is just breaking in the last couple of minutes. Gaetz, a Republican, has filed a lawsuit to block the report's release. Gaetz was the first Trump Attorney General nominee who withdrew last month over those allegations. America's listening to Fox News.
It is 8:02 on AM 560, The Answer. Good morning. I'm Mike Scott. Lions bounce back from a Week 15 loss, blasting the Bears 34-17 at Soldier Field. Bears interim head coach Thomas Brown says it was early turnovers that killed momentum.
Turn the ball over twice early in the game. Don't give yourself much of a shot. I think we had 10 total penalties. So obviously that kind of puts you behind the 8 ball. But I do appreciate the way the guys continue to battle and keep fighting, but it's not good enough. But, coach it better, demand a better result.
Bears have lost 9 straight. They fall to 4-11 and face Seattle this week. A crash on West Lake Street in the West Garfield Park neighborhood left a woman dead and 3 children seriously injured after police said her SUV struck a pillar Sunday afternoon. Mayor Brandon Johnson's interim Chicago Board of Education voted unanimously to fire Chicago Public Schools CEO Pedro Martinez without cause on Friday night.
If there's a silver lining, it is that educators, families, and especially our students will be spared from the disruption of a mid-year change in leadership.
Friday's vote followed a tumultuous meeting. 23rd Ward Alderwoman Silvana Tabares disagreed with the decision, saying Latino voters will now remember the board's action.
You're not just firing a CEO. You are intentionally clearing a way to saddle taxpayers with billions in costs and a district and yourselves personally with costly litigation. You are being used.
Attempts to oust Martinez by Mayor Brandon Johnson and the CTU have been months in making, and now many editorial boards and City Hall critics are calling on Mayor Johnson to resign in disgrace over his actions. Chicago sports, a little college football today, as Northern Illinois takes on Fresno State in the Potato Bowl. Professionally, Bulls and Bucks tonight, and the Blackhawks take on the Wild. The news, a service of Balance of Nature, fruits and veggies in a capsule. Save 35% as a preferred customer. Hurry offer ends soon. Time for the AM 560 Business Beat, a service of Signature Bank. Visit signaturebank.bank for all your commercial banking needs. And now the latest from the Fox Business Network.
I'm Susan Lee, and this is the Fox Business Report.
It's getting harder to get that Starbucks peppermint mocha this morning, with the ongoing barista strike at the coffee giant expanding to 9 states as of Sunday, according to the Starbucks Workers United Union. The 5-day strike started on Friday at Starbucks locations in Chicago, Los Angeles, and Seattle, its hometown, seeking wage increases for baristas. Workers in Colorado, Ohio, and Pennsylvania locations joined Saturday, while union workers in Missouri, New Jersey, and New York started their strike Sunday. Starbucks saying it can't afford to meet the union's wage demands and that it already offers a benefits package unlike any other retailer. And a travel milestone is hit this holiday season.
By air, it is. 7.85 million, I think, is the number there that they're predicting.
Fox's Jeff Flock. That's your Fox Business Report. I'm Lillian Wu, invested in you.
As a kid, do you remember the anticipation of Christmas Day? Running to the tree to see what you gotten from Santa, unwrapping gifts like a new bike or your favorite game. This Christmas, put all that's going on in this world to the side and try and capture that spirit, if even for a little while. We'll be here to give you the news and commentary you're looking for when you're ready. Until then, Merry Christmas. AM 560, The Answer.
The truth is, viruses cannot be killed, and unlike bacteria, viruses are not alive. A virus is what we call a biologic entity, but we can still do something. We can destroy a virus or even keep it from being able to launch its attack on our bodies before, during, and after exposure. And this is why you need to get the kit. Our winter survival kit. Your body can protect you from these infectious bugs, but it needs a little help building up its immune defenses. And the best offense is a great defense. And that's why you need the kit. It's a perfect strategy for every infectious bug, as well as those non-living, can't-kill viruses. Our winter survival kit is a must for your home or workplace. It contains targeted nutritional components that can get the job done before, during, and after any infectious exposure. So get the kit. For details, call our Health Quest radio hotline at 800-794-1855. That's 800-794-1855. It's Health Quest Radio with me, Dr. David Kolbaba, this Saturday morning at 11.
My name is Dr. Joe Mealy. I've been a dentist for 56 years.
and I'm a certified nutritional consultant. I started taking Balance of Nature 15 years ago. I think most people think when they eat fruits and vegetables, this is their idea of fruits and vegetables. I had an apple today. I had a pear today. I had a banana. That's their fruits and vegetables. They don't understand that each one of those fruits and vegetables has different nutrients than the others. Balance of Nature has made a significant difference in my life, in my wife's life. I feel we're on this earth to help each other, and if other people can benefit from my experience, I think that would be one of the best ways I could justify still being here at 81.
Go to balanceofnature.com and get 35% off your first preferred set with free shipping as a new preferred customer by using discount code CHICAGO.
If you're living with dry age-related macular degeneration or dry AMD, you may be at risk for developing geographic atrophy or GA. GA can be unpredictable and progress rapidly, leading to irreversible vision loss. Now there's something you can do to
slow it down and get it going slower.
Izervay is proven to slow GA progression.
Izervay gets GA going slower.
Izervay or avacincaptad pagel is a prescription eye injection used to treat GA. Don't take it if you have an infection or active swelling in or around your eye. Izervay can cause eye infection, retinal detachment, or increased risk of wet AMD. Izervay may temporarily increase eye pressure. Your vision may be impaired after an eye injection or exam. Don't delay. Ask your doctor about Izervay today.
Izervay gets GA going slower.
Visit Izervay.com. That's IZERVAY.com.
It's 8:09. Let's get an update on the roads. Team Hochberg Traffic Center time. And this update is a service of Balance of Nature, fruits and veggies in a capsule. Order online at balanceofnature.com. Coupon code Chicago. Offer ends soon. Kennedy inbound is at 25. O'Hare into the Burns Circle interchange. Accident in the Southland 394 in Will County. Southbound right after Steger Road. Bad accident there in the cleanup stages. And in Willow Springs, cleaning up an accident, Willow Springs Road and Archer. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next. AM 560 Weather Center forecast with Steve Williams.
Cloudy today, some rain this morning, followed by drizzle for the afternoon. Look out for some slippery spots. High today, 38. Cloudy tonight and the low 33. Clouds again tomorrow, the high 38. And then clouds, occasional rain on Christmas Day, the high Wednesday, 39. I'm Steve Williams on AM 560, The Answer.
34 at O'Hare. Next news coming up at 8:30. And Chicago's Morning Answer continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
Now, from the Signature Bank Studios.
This is Chicago's Morning Answer
Merry Christmas.
on AM 560.
Ho, ho, ho.
The Answer.
Top of the morning, Dan and Amy. It's time for some Christmas vocals. I don't know if this is the Pastori or the Partridge Family, because I see a lot of Pastoris in this ensemble cast. Robert Pastori and family. That's Rob Pastori on vocal, Vicky on piano, Julia on flute and vocal, Max on tenor sax, and Louie on percussion. The Pastoris.
Good morning and welcome back.
Good morning.
So tell us about yourself, and for people who don't know, who the Pastori clan is.
So my wife and I are trained musicians, and I sang at the Lyric Opera for 5 years back in the 90s.
Nice.
My wife was a music teacher. She's a music director at a Catholic parish in Hammond, Indiana. We live in Munster, Indiana. We homeschooled our 4 children. These are 3 of our 4 children. Julia is a music therapist now, working in Valparaiso. Louis is a professional percussionist, and he's also a photographer. And Max here is finishing up his undergraduate degree in saxophone performance at Western Michigan. He's going to go on to finish his master's degree in 2 years.
Wow. Yeah. That is a musical, artistic family. Rob, what was your favorite role at the Lyric?
I was actually in the chorus for 5 years. And
Okay.
my favorite role was actually in one of the Benjamin Britten operas that we did, because the chorus was actually kind of the main character. And the first opera I was in was Boris Godunov.
Oh, that's a favorite, Mussorgsky.
Oh, yeah.
That's a favorite.
So in the chorus at the beginning,
Wonderful.
we're starving slaves. And then we were the boyars in the famous boyar scenes, kind of like their version of the Senate.
The lyric, that was one of the most, I mean, in addition to the opera itself, that is one of the most beautiful sets that the lyric does.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Oh, well, wonderful. All right, so what do we have today, unless we're going to do a rendition of Boris Godunov?
Oh, well, there's no
Not to
Boris
put you on the
Godunov
spot or
today.
anything.
Yeah, right.
Sorry. Well, we just have several Christmas songs. Winter Wonderland, Have Yourself a Merry Little Christmas. Christmas Time from Charlie Brown. That'll be an instrumental. And a few others as well if there's time.
All right, we can start with your favorite one.
Okay.
I'm sure they're all your favorites, but
Yeah.
whatever you want to do,
Thank
the
you.
floor is yours.
Thank you.
Sleigh bells ring, are you listening? In the lane, snow is glistening. A beautiful sight, we're happy tonight, walking in a winter wonderland.
Gone away is the bluebird, here to stay is a new bird. He sings a love song as we go along, walking in a winter wonderland.
In the meadow we can build a snowman.
Then pretend that he is Parson Brown.
He'll say, are you married? We'll say, no, man.
But you can do the job when you're in town. Later on we'll conspire as we dream by the fire, to face unafraid the plans that we made, walking in a winter wonderland.
In the meadow we can build a snowman.
Then pretend that he is Parson Brown.
He'll say, are you married? We'll say, no, man.
But you can do the job when you're in town. Later on we'll conspire as we dream by the fire, to face unafraid the plans that we made, walking in a winter wonderland. Walking in a winter wonderland. Walking in a winter wonderland.
Yeah, very good, very good. Boy, you've got a budding John Coltrane there on tenor sax. That's now. All right, so "Walking in Winter Wonderland." I don't know if you've heard this rendition, and I'm not saying which is better, but I just want to get your artistical review of this version of "Walking in a Winter Wonderland" while we have experts in studio. This is from Sean Farish. Can we play that? Can we
Stand by.
Can we play that?
Try it one more time. No, don't.
Oh, we don't have the bite? All right. Well, we'll have to work on getting Sean Farish. Okay. All right, back to the real artists. So your next offering.
Have yourself a merry little Christmas.
your heart be light. From now on, our troubles will be out of sight.
Have yourself a merry little Christmas. Make the Yuletide gay. From now on, our troubles will be miles away. Here we are as in olden days, happy golden days of yore. Faithful friends who are dear to us, gather near to us once more.
Through the years we all will be together, if the fates allow.
Hang a shining star upon the highest bough, and have yourself a merry little Christmas now. Happy golden days of yore. Faithful friends who are dear to us, gather near to us once more.
Through the years we all will be together, if the fates allow. Hang a shining star upon the highest bough, and have yourself a merry little Christmas now.
Yeah.
So soothing. Took me to my happy place.
You guys must have killed in the grade school Christmas plays.
Yeah.
Well, they were homeschooled, so they always won.
I always got the start.
Wonderful. That's Julia Pastori as well as Rob on vocals there. All right, let's get right into the next one.
So the next one is instrumental. It's Christmas Time is Here by Vince Guaraldi.
Yeah, wonderful. It takes me back to a better time. I feel like I should be in Andes with a martini listening to this.
Well, that saxophone was made in 1957, so that takes me pretty far back, where I was born.
Do you guys do gigs either collectively or individually?
We do. We do a lot of private parties, and I sing a lot in churches for weddings and as a soloist. My wife is an accompanist as well, so she plays for a lot of different concerts and events as well.
Well,
Wonderful.
when Dan gets married, we'll know who to call.
Yeah, there's no question about that.
Julia's getting married in June.
Yeah, I saw your engagement ring. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Are you going to be
Wonderful.
singing at your own wedding?
No, sadly not.
Oh, was your dad going to be singing when he walks you down the aisle? Or?
No.
No? You hired somebody else?
Yeah.
Okay. Well,
Here,
congratulations.
they get a day off for the wedding.
Yeah, that's
yeah,
nice.
right. Okay, all right. Let's get into the next one.
Yeah, we can do one more.
Let it snow. Let it snow. Let it snow.
Please, no rain. We want snow. E flat. I'm taking it back to my piano lessons day.
There you go.
Oh, the weather outside is frightful, but the fire is so delightful. And since we've no place to go, let it snow, let it snow, let it snow. It doesn't show signs of stopping, and I brought some corn for popping. The lights are turned way down low. Let it snow, let it snow, let it snow. When we finally kiss goodnight, how I hate going out in the storm. But if you really hold me tight, all the way home I'll be warm. The fire is slowly dying, and my dear, we're still goodbying. But as long as you love me so, let it snow, let it snow, let it snow. When we finally kiss goodnight, how I hate going out in the storm. But if you really hold me tight, all the way home I'll be warm. The fire is slowly dying, and my dear, we're still goodbying. But as long as you love me so, let it snow, let it snow, let it snow.
Yeah. All right. That's Rob Pastore. Beautiful vocals, by the way. Rob Pastore on vocal, Vicky Pastore on piano, Julia Pastore flute and vocal. Max Pastore is the John Coltrane there, the tenor sax, and Louis Pastore on percussion. Wonderful job. You guys are excellent. If people want more information on the Pastore family for events and whatnot, where do they go?
They can call us, 219-772-5333. 219-712-0488.
So it's 219-712.
0488.
0488. All right.
Rob Pastore and family, thank you so much for coming in studio and performing for us and our audience. We really appreciate it. And a Merry Christmas to you all.
Merry Christmas.
This is Chicago's Morning Answer.
I want Christmas. Just give me plain baby Jesus lying in a manger Christmas.
On AM 560, The Answer.
Balance of Nature supplements. Changing the world, one life at a time.
Balance of nature makes a difference in my well-being and how I feel and everything. It's true. It makes a difference. If you take balance of nature, you have a happy day because you just feel a little better. It's like a restaurant in New Orleans. Her famous saying was, when you come to our restaurant, you leave a little happier than when you got here. And that's what balance of nature does. It lets your day be a little happier than it would be without the balance of nature.
Merry Christmas! This season, be part of the cheer and save big with our exclusive Christmas deal. Call 1-800-246-8751 or go to balanceofnature.com and sign up as a new preferred customer to get 35% off your first preferred set. Don't miss out. Go to balanceofnature.com or call 1-800-246-8751 and get this exclusive Christmas offer by using discount code CHICAGO.
As we near the end of the year, many families in Latin America and the Caribbean are struggling just to get by. Inflation, food shortages, and natural disasters have left parents unable to feed their children or access water.
When the kids go to bed and we just stay in the night talking about how it's very hard to see my kids go to bed with hunger and not having something to give to them.
For over 40 years, Food for the Poor has stood alongside families like these. Gifts of $500 from AM 560 listeners have already provided food for 10 children for an entire year. Now we're asking for your help with the next 4. Your one-time gift of $200 provides life-saving food for 4 children for a year and helps the community get water closer to home. Make your best gift today. Click the red Give Life banner at 560theanswer.com or call 844-862-4673. And we thank you in advance for your generosity.
The holidays are here again, and it's really getting cold outside. It's time to snuggle up by the fireplace with a delicious mug full of Bob's Belgian hot chocolate. Oh my gosh, it's so good. Each sip is so rich, so luxurious, and oh so chocolatey. Bob makes his hot chocolate with 100% imported Belgian chocolate, and it's so easy to make. You just stir it into hot milk and voila! You just made yourself the best hot chocolate ever. You can buy Bob's Belgian hot chocolate mix and sticks online at bobsbelgianhotchocolate.com or visit us at Chris Kindle Markets at Daily Plaza and Aurora. Come on out and join in on all of the holiday fun with visitors from all over the world. We can click our glasses and wish each other good cheer with a delicious mug full of Bob's Belgian hot chocolate. Oh my gosh, it's so good. Bob'sBelgianHotChocolate.com.
AM 560, The Answer.
All right, coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer.
At 8:38, we'll go from traditional Christmas carols to the political song of 2024. We've got a number of nominees to go through. We'll take your votes. 312-642-5600, turnkey.pro answer line. That's at 8:38.
I know what mine's going to be. I think it might have something to do with meow meow. But now let's head into the newsroom. Here's Mike Scott.
35 degrees at 8:32. President Biden commuting the death sentences of 37 people, leaving only 3 federal prisoners on death row in America. Meantime, the president has signed a bipartisan funding bill that prevents a government shutdown. It did not contain a debt limit increase that President-elect Donald Trump wanted included. New York Republican Representative Nick Langworthy.
We need to cut the deficit and lower spending, but we are going to hit that limit at some point in the year ahead.
Republicans are expected to push for a debt ceiling increase in a reconciliation bill once the president-elect takes office. Current and former University of Michigan college students this morning are filing suit against the school, accusing the school of targeting and excessively disciplining pro-Palestinian students. The house featured in Home Alone has found new owners this morning. 5-bedroom, 6-bath home in Winnetka sold for $5 million. The Lions bounce back from a Week 15 loss, blasting the Bears 34-17. Bears fall to 4-11 and face Seattle next. A crash along West Lake Street in the West Garfield Park neighborhood left a woman dead and 3 children seriously hurt on Sunday afternoon. 4 were injured overnight when their SUV crashed across the street from the salt shed. According to Chicago police, a 20-year-old man was driving along North Elston in the Westtown neighborhood when he sideswiped a taxi and hit a light pole near the music venue. Mayor Brandon Johnson's interim Chicago Board of Ed voted unanimously to fire Chicago Public Schools CEO Pedro Martinez. And a college football national champion, wide receiver, makes the Chicago area proud this morning. Spreading joy to local families ahead of the holidays, Tyler Morris won a national championship at the University of Michigan. He's a 2022 grad of Plainfield East High School and donated a large portion of his name, image, and likeness money to District 202 families in need this year. Tyler gave over $3,000 worth of gift cards to schools in the district. More than 40 families benefited from that holiday gift. College football action today. Northern Illinois takes on Fresno State at the Potato Bowl. Bulls and Bucks tonight professionally, while Connor Bedard and the Blackhawks visit the Wild. The news, a service of Balance of Nature, fruits and veggies in a capsule. Use coupon code Chicago to save 35% as a preferred customer. Hurry, offer in soon. A check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
It's the most wonderful time of the year. And we hope you celebrate with family and friends. Thanks for making 2024 historic in more ways than one. And 2025 is shaping up to be just as memorable. Hey, thanks for listening. And Merry Christmas. AM 560, The Answer.
MyPillow is glad to announce that their Christmas extravaganza is finally here. Get this season's flannel sheets for as low as $59.98. They won't last long, so get them while you can. The famous My Slippers. They haven't been on sale for over a year. Regular price $119.98, now only $59.98. The 6-piece towel sets are back in stock with extremely limited quantities, only $29.98. With hundreds of MyPillow products, there's something for everyone on your Christmas list. From bathrobes, duvets, quilts, down comforters, and so much more. So go to MyPillow.com or call 800-489-0201 and be sure to use promo code LIBERTY to save on all MyPillow products. That's 800-489-0201, promo code LIBERTY. For example, flannel sheets for as low as $59.98 or the 6-piece towel sets for just $29.98. But that's not all. They're extending their 60-day money-back guarantee until March 1st, 2025. Plus, all orders over $75 or more ship absolutely free or use promo code LIBERTY at MyPillow.com.
Tasty Catering invites you to come together this holiday season and celebrate with great food and great company.
Since 1989, Tasty Catering has been planning memorable holiday office parties all over Chicagoland and bringing your team together this year in the spirit of the season.
Their delicious holiday menu at tastycatering.com features all the amazing appetizers and entrees, savory side dishes, and decadent desserts that you'll need for the ideal holiday office party.
From elegant plated dinners to casual company buffets and festive cocktail hours.
Stop by their Elk Grove Village Kitchen and meet their award-winning catering family and sample some of their new and classic holiday menu dishes.
The experienced holiday events team is ready to take you step by step through the planning process, simply and stress-free.
Don't delay. Call Tasty Catering at 847-593-2000 or view the holiday menu online at tastycatering.com.
That's 847-593-2000. tastycatering.com. Holidays. Gather, eat, and enjoy together.
Ho, ho, ho! Time to check the list.
Hey, Santa, you're looking a little rosier than usual.
Yeah, big guy. Is your blood pressure okay?
Gee, I hope so.
You know, you should drink 120 Life.
Totally. 120 Life is a natural way to help control blood pressure without the side effects of medication.
It's a delicious juice drink and powdered mix with natural ingredients like pomegranates and tart cherries.
It tastes great and is shown to work wonders for blood pressure.
Ho, ho! Best put 120 Life on my list.
Try 120 Life yourself, risk-free, with a 2-week trial pack. Order now. Go to 120life.com and use coupon code CHRISTMAS to save 15% and get free shipping. They're so sure it can noticeably lower your blood pressure in 2 weeks, they'll give you your money back if you're not satisfied. Lower blood pressure is the gift that keeps on giving. Order now to get the Christmas special of 15% savings and free shipping. That's 120life.com. Use coupon code CHRISTMAS at checkout.
This hourly segment is brought to you by In the Know with Wealth Management Group, hosted by Craig and Leslie Bolano Sunday mornings at 10. Learn more at investwithwmg.com.
8:39, Team Hochberg Traffic Center time. A service of Mattress Firm. Take up to 60% off select mattresses and more. Plus, get a free adjustable base on qualifying purchases. Shop today for free and fast delivery. Restrictions apply. 394 Southland area, Will County. An accident on 394 southbound after Steger. Jane Addams, vehicle fire blazing away this morning on the Jane Addams westbound at Beverly Road. 2 right lanes are blocked. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next. AM 560 Weather Center forecast. Today, bit of rain or freezing rain, high 38. It's 34 right now. Next news at 9. Chicago's Morning Answer continues next on AM 560 The Answer.
Now, from the Signature Bank Studios.
If you're looking for the latest news, insight into what it means, and the sharpest opinion, there's only one station in Chicago where you can turn, and it's this one. We're AM 560, The Answer.
Top of the morning, Dan and Amy. Did I hear the Home Alone house sold for $5 million in Winnetka?
Yeah, sure did.
There's somebody who's angry at their money. Actually, the
what are their property taxes going to be like? $52,000
or
more than that. Oh God, maybe 89.
Yeah, it's got to be closing in on 100. I suspect.
Yeah.
You know a house that I love though from John Hughes movies. I was to pick a house. It would have been the house that Steve Martin had in Planes, Trains, and Automobiles. That was a beautiful, stately manor. Remember that house?
Unfortunately, Dan, I have yet to see Planes, Trains.
You've never seen Planes, Trains, and
No,
Automobiles?
and we've had this talk years ago, about 7 years ago, and I still have not seen it, but it is on my to-do list.
Well, it's a perfect time to see it Christmas.
Okay, I will download it and watch it.
Good grief.
I know. Just be nice to people,
Not
moviegoers.
All right. Well, so there's 2 categories of political songs. There's the parody, and then there's the original composition.
Okay.
But we're putting them together. There can only be one political song of 2024. And why don't we start? I think we've got the clip remedied. Just on the theme, we're talking Christmas carols with the Best Story family. Here's a Sean Farash, the preeminent Trump impersonator, with his Christmas ditty.
Ratings crash. No one's listening. And now Mark Cuban looks like he's transitioning. We beat the fake news. We win and they lose. Walking in a MAGA wonderland. Gone away is Kamala and almost $2 billion. And Rosie is sad. Rob Reiner's gone mad. Walking in a MAGA wonderland. We'll build a wall and we'll shut down the border and start the deportations on day 1. Our country will get back to law and order and send all those bad hombres on the run. Later on, we'll all admire when I tell Joe and Kamala you're fired. Through all the attacks, a country so back, walking in a MAGA wonderland.
Pretty good, and that was a cappella, too.
That was really good.
Another Christmas-themed parody song from Tom MacDonald we played the other day, but it made the cut in terms of a nominee.
Well, the tide is finally turning, and Kamala's speech is slurring. Thank God we're saying bye to Joe. Screw the woke, screw the woke, screw the woke. And the mainstream media's dying, their viewers shaving their heads and crying. What is a woman? Well, they still don't know. Screw the woke, screw the woke, screw the woke. They tried to stop us by taking his life, but they missed, so it's fight, fight, fight. The left really thought they'd beat the right, and they fought, but they lost, thank the Lord. Now January is coming, half of Hollywood's already running. They're finding new countries to call home. Screw the woke, screw the woke, screw the woke.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
312-642-5600, turnkey.pro answer line if you want to chime in or even offer your own write-in nomination. Some other parody songs, MAGA-oriented parody songs that we heard throughout 2024. The Magarena.
Camel is never gonna beat me in November. Donna's gonna make the country better than you can remember. Camel is never gonna beat me in November. Hey, Margarita. Camel is never gonna beat me in November. Donna's gonna make the country better than you can remember. Camel is never gonna beat me in November. Hey, Margarita. Camel is never gonna beat me in November. Donna's gonna make the country better than you can remember. Camel is never gonna beat me in November. Hey, Margarita.
Yeah.
That's good.
A little tired. Macarena is
Yeah.
a little past post. How about this? This is a little bit more current, this parody song, Borders Are.
From the wackos on the left to the magas on the right, they know I'm beating Kamala. This race won't even be tied. Her policies are nutso. She's out her goddamn mind. She just repeats the same thing, regurgitating her lines. She thinks that immigration without paperwork is good. Clearly not too much power underneath Kamala's hood. Borders are, it's what you are. Borders are, borders are. Cackling Kamala, you're dumb. Mass inflation imminent if she weasels herself in. If that don't sound like fun to you, then you better help me win. I promise I'll secure you, you'll be in better hands. It'd be a flippin' free-for-all with what Kamala plans. Borders are, it's what you are. Borders are, borders are. Laugh it up, Kamala. This lady, she's cackling crazy.
All right.
That's a good one. Oh, real quick, because I always speak in non sequiturs. That Home Alone house is going to be $99,000 a year in property taxes.
Ah, it's right there.
Yeah, close.
Got
Good job.
approaching $100,000. Yeah,
that's
going up from there. Well, there's no. You got to write blank checks to maintain New Trier High School District, of course.
Right. I mean, they only kiddies only deserve the best.
We have a couple of Spanish music nominees, including this one.
Kamala, Kamala eres, Kamala eres, Kamala. 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 Kamala, Kamala eres, Kamala eres.
How bad is Kamala?
It's Kamala. It's bad.
Now
Spanish translation. Yes.
Now, of course, this is about artistry, so we'll include songs from the left. I mean, the great
Were they
John
fun
Bon
enough to have songs from the left?
Oh, the great John Bon Jovi.
Okay.
Did you forget?
We are building this house of love.
Right, House of Love and Joy.
Building this house. Building this house. This is the people's house. From sea to shining sea. The Rocky Mountain building walls. These halls are city streets. The wrecking ball is gonna knock it down. Nobody's gonna come and steal the keys.
That was for Kamala. John Bon Jovi penned that ditty. No?
Boring.
Not feeling it?
No.
Well, not living on a prayer for you?
No.
Of course, this one, which is catchy, little folky, little Peter, Paul, and Mary-ish, appropriate.
We're not going back. We're not going back. Just like a tree that's planted by the water. We're not going back. Voting for our freedoms. We're not going back. Control of our own bodies. We're not going back. Just like a tree that's planted by the water. We're not going back. Voting for our sisters. We're not going back. Voting for our brothers. We're not going back. Just like a tree that's planted by the water. We're not going back.
A little sing-along.
Yeah. I mean, at least that's better than Bon Jovi. Who cares what Bon Jovi thinks? And clearly, Americans didn't care what he thought. Oprah, Beyonce, Bruce Springsteen didn't move the needle at all. Lizzo.
Bruce Springsteen and Lizzo didn't offer songs, so they just offered endorsements.
Right.
Right. Yeah. We can't have a political song of the year without including some of Reason.com's Remy and his parodies. This is probably my favorite parody song he did this year. This is All Oil Everything, which is a parody of Trinidad James's All Gold Everything.
Now don't die on me. We'll be at the hospital soon. We just need to drive one more. Yeah. We're here to protest your immoral use of oil. Despite the fact there's oil all in my chain. Oil all in my ring. Oil all in my watch. Don't believe me, just watch. Lugga. Don't believe me, just watch. Lugga. Don't believe me, just watch. I got an oil hat and an oil shirt, 2 oil signs, I'm holding them. I got socks, shades, and shoes on, all made up petroleum. There's oil in my gummies, so oil in my tummy. Oil in the phone I used to call my mom for money. The ink on my sign, all these lenses for my side, all these pants and this asphalt, this glue I glued my ass all, this all in my chain, all in my ring, all in my watch. Don't believe me, just watch. Lugga. Don't believe me, just watch. Lugga. Don't believe me, just watch.
Yeah, that's good.
That's a good one.
That is good. Remy's really good.
He's the best.
Now, we just had the Pastore family.
Yeah.
We are all interested in equal time here. So you have the Pastore family from Northwest Indiana. What about the Marsh family from the UK? It's a family affair, Partridge Family-esque. You remember this one? This classic, instant classic, Gimme Hope, Kamala?
When old Donald used to run the country, he subdivision tried to build a wall. He made a few of his people wealthy. Oh, he don't care about the rest at all.
He's got convictions, he did the nasty and undermined the Constitution.
He's an oppressor of civil liberties, megalomaniac Republican.
Oh, give me hope, Kamala. Hope, Kamala, give me hope, Kamala, for the election. Give me hope, Kamala. Hope, Kamala, hope for beating Donald Trump.
Yeah, a little nice arrangement there. Constitution, election.
I actually like that. That's my favorite one on the left, I got to tell you.
All right. All right.
312-642-5600. You can call us. You can text us your favorite political song.
Now, I know,
Ooh,
as you
that's
sort of telegraphed, the leader in the clubhouse going into this important vote for 2024 Political Song of the Year, of course, was Kifnis.
In Springfield,
Oh, yeah.
they're eating the dogs. They're eating the cats. They're eating the pets of the people that live there.
Sing it all day now.
They're eating the dogs. They're eating the cats. They're eating the pets of the people that live there.
People of Springfield, please don't eat my cats. Why would you do that? Eat something else. People of Springfield, please don't eat my dog. Here's a catalog of other things to eat.
They're eating the dogs.
Whoa, whoa, whoa.
They're eating the cats.
Meow, 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 meow.
They're eating the pets of the people that live there. They're eating the dogs.
Whoa, 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 whoa.
They're eating the cats.
Meow, 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 meow.
They're eating the pets of the people that live there.
That's a good one. I mean, it's good.
Come on. 'Cause
You
it
think
took-
that's the one? That's yours? That's your
yeah.
pick?
Hands down. That one wins.
Kevin in Austin,
yeah.
Texas. You're on Chicago.
I have to agree with Amy. I thought that was the best one. Although I did hear that the turnout in the Vietnamese neighborhoods did go up because of the song.
Hi-oh.
Hey-oh.
So, but I did want to say that the one song, as far as the liberals, as far as we're not going back, it's okay. You know, they're not going back. I just want them to go away. So, anyhow.
Thanks for the call, Kevin. Appreciate
Dan and Amy, the song Panama by Van Halen is appropriate today. The We Didn't Start the Fire parody, I don't remember.
Yeah, it wasn't bad. Carolyn Moments.
Hi. Well, before I start, Merry Christmas to both you and Amy today. But I was doing okay till you played that We're Not Going Back, and then I became nauseated.
Well, it can have that impact.
It's over now. So.
Yeah. Thanks, Carol. But like
I
a
know,
tree
they look-
planted by the water, we are not going back. Except we are going back. That's the problem. That's the spoiler. I'm going to say...
Yeah, what's your favorite, Dan?
In a probably a shocking turn, because I'm such a fan of Kifnis and eating the pets, that the 2024 Political Song of the Year for me, my vote,
Yeah, should we get a drum roll?
is an
Justin?
original composition,
Yeah.
but it's an oldie that became newie because it spawned a national dance craze.
Oh.
There's a place you can go. I said, young man, when you're short on your dough, you can stay there. And I'm sure you will find many ways.
Come on, dance. Dance.
It's fun to stay at the YMCA. It's fun to stay at the YMCA. They have
I didn't see people doing YMCA dance when they were scoring touchdowns. You know, in fact, I think that's my 2024 Political Song of the Year. Hat tip to Victor Willis, who also had to remind people that the song was not intended to be some gay anthem.
Right. Text message, Dan and Amy. I still sing Eating the Dogs and Cats daily. Usually several times. And I got to tell you, I do too, because I live with a dog and a cat. I'm like, they're eating the dog. Meow, 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 meow. I love that song.
Do your dogs and cats worry about
Me
why you're
eating
singing
them?
about eating them?
Oh, I think they're fine.
All right.
Another one, my favorite, Eating the Dogs, Eating the Cats. He should get him to perform at the inauguration.
Well, I think Kifnis and the Village People.
Yeah.
I think those are must-have acts at the inauguration. Harry, Rogers Park.
Yes, I've always been fond of the original Kamala Eres Kamala.
Uh-huh.
So that's my vote, followed by eating the dogs and eating the cats.
There you go. Yeah, Kamala is very catchy as well. I like that too. All right, so what's it going to be? It comes down, I mean, Amy, I guess you're the tie-breaking vote. It's eating the pets, eating the dogs, eating the cats, or the Village people? What's it going to be?
I think we're going to go with the ladies' choice here because of all the text messages we're getting in. Eating the dogs, eating the cats seems to be the number one winner.
All right, it's both your quote-unquote lie of the year, according to PolitiFact, and your 2024 political song of the year. Dan and Amy, Chicago's Morning Answer.
This is Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560.
Merry Christmas, you filthy animal.
The Answer.
Papa Nicholas Coffee, a Chicagoland tradition for over 5 generations, combines heritage and innovation in every cup. Our coffee is locally roasted, hot air roasted, and cold blended in small batches to ensure premium quality. Whether you prefer a 12-ounce bag or a 28-ounce bag, or even the convenience of K-Cups, you'll find Papa Nicholas Coffee at your local retailer. Taste the difference that 5 generations of expertise brings. Choose Papa Nicholas Coffee, because great coffee is our family tradition. Visit online at papanicholas.com. That's papanicholas.com.
AM 560. The Answer.
All right, is it over?
It's over. Our year is over.
Wow. Any last words, Dan, about the year that was?
Merry Christmas, Happy New Year. You're not come back until like the 6th, right?
Yeah.
I'm back on the 2nd, and then I'm gone on the 6th because I got to go play golf.
Oh, yeah. Where are you going?
Going to Cabot Farms, north of Tampa, destination golf.
All right.
So
good for
look
you.
forward to that.
All right. Well, have a Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. And thanks, as always, to Justin Kosick and Quinn McCarthy. Couldn't do without them. And to Mike Scott, the best in the business. Love you. Love your family. And it is now 9 a.m. at WING.
Not guilty. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News. Luigi Mangione just entered that plea in state court in